get it done.
Whether it's one bill, two bills, I don't care. Let these guys, they're going to work it out. They're going to work it out one way or the other. But the bottom line, the end result is going to be the same.
The end result, he says, will be great for America. The White House pausing federal grants and loans as the administration starts an across-the-board review of federal spending. Social Security and Medicare exempt from the spending freeze. Waiting for skyrocketing egg prices to come down? Well, don't hold your breath. Prices have more than doubled since the summer of 2023, and millions of chickens are still being slaughtered every month because of the bird flu. Boeing posted a fourth-quarter loss, $3.8 billion. Machinist strike and other problems continue to plague the troubled aircraft manufacturer. $2.96 billion in red ink for General Motors in the final 3 months of last year, while Lockheed Martin earned $527 million in the fourth quarter, exceeding Wall Street's expectations. And on Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 66 points, NASDAQ futures up 33 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
So let me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then, you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The embattled South Korean president's legal woes continue to mount.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has become the country's first leader to be indicted, less than 2 weeks after he was the first to be detained. The impeached, jailed president, who had been holed up in his presidential compound for weeks after issuing a shocking martial law decree last month, now faces rebellion charges that are punishable by the death penalty or life in prison. It's part of a tortuous saga that has plunged South Korea into political turmoil. A separate proceeding will determine whether to formally dismiss Yoon as president or reinstate him. I'm Karen Shamas.
A delegation of Russian officials has arrived in Damascus, the first such visit to Syria since the fall in December of former President Bashar al-Assad, an ally of Moscow. Assad took refuge in Russia after his ouster. The new Syrian authorities, though, have not cut off relations with Moscow or forced a complete exit of Russian forces. Townhall.com. The Senate confirms Scott Bessent as President Trump's Treasury Secretary.
Scott Bessent on Monday secured confirmation to lead the Department of the Treasury, putting President Trump's top economic nominee in place ahead of a big GOP push to enact Trump's ambitious economic agenda. Senators voted 68 to 29 on Bessent's nomination. The chamber had to tee up the final vote during a rare Saturday session that top Republicans held as part of their weeks-long process of confirming Trump's cabinet choices. The Senate will now turn its attention to greenlight former Representative Sean Duffy to become Secretary of Transportation. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
3 people are dead and 2 police officers were wounded. This in a shooting at a grocery store in Elkhart, Indiana. Police say the gunman is among the dead. They say he was killed in a shootout with officers. The wounded officers were taken to area hospitals. They suffered gunshot wounds. One has since been released, the other in stable condition. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Ah, yes. Welcome to it.
Yeah. It's got like rain chances tonight.
Yeah?
Tomorrow. A little bit. A little bit. Like a 20%. They say like tomorrow could be a little rain-snow mix. But
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's going to be more rain than snow.
Yeah. Well, that plus freezing temperatures does lead to ice, so, you know, be careful out there.
Yep. But the good news is it's warm. It's later on. I'm looking at the temps for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like Friday we're 64. Saturday we're 67. But Sunday we're 76. Monday we're 74.
Holy moly.
Somebody told me we might hit 80 next week.
What?
Yeah. So I think we got a warm spell coming.
Yeah, it could be on the way.
It was 9.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
I know,
or a week ago, whatever that was.
I walked into my kid's mom's house and I said 8.
Yeah,
no, it's only 6. I'm like, no, 8 degrees outside,
and it's gonna be
this place
80 allegedly.
Yep.
Next
Allegedly.
week. So we'll see.
All I could think when let's be careful out there. Do you remember this show? And this is an obscure reference. I'm sure it was one of your favorites back in the day. Cop Rock.
Oh, I remember. There was 4 episodes before he finally said maybe we shouldn't play.
We probably shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
For those who weren't in on it, it was a musical series that followed a police department.
It was legit. Like
it wasn't ironic. It wasn't like done for parody.
Yeah, it wasn't an SNL bit or nothing. No. It was an actual show.
And the chief would have their morning briefing,
mm-hmm.
and he would send the troops out, the officers out with the song, "Let's be careful out there."
I to be honest, I saw more about it being made fun of than
mm-hmm.
the actual show. I don't think I actually watched the show,
mm-hmm.
but I remember like watching like all the Entertainment Tonights and all the the media just
the first time
try really hard to sell it, and then everyone's just like, this is ridiculous.
The first time I even heard about it was from I Love the 80s, which, by the way,
so you didn't see it in person?
Oh no,
I lived it.
I was far too young. I was a child when
I
it was
lived
out
that
in
life.
person. But
I remember.
After having discovered it, I went back and watched episodes of it, and I gotta say, it's awful.
Yeah.
I
feel like it was an ABC property.
Terrible. I don't know who it was.
I feel like it was an ABC property.
It's real bad.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I will tell you this though: if you want to dive into some nostalgia,
mm-hmm.
which is kind of like nostalgiaception, you can go on YouTube and watch full episodes of I Love the 80s.
Oh, yeah?
So you can watch people from 20 years ago reminiscing on 40 years ago.
That sounds like a treat.
It's pretty fun. It's kind of like a jumping off point to Back to the Past.
I just remember like the casts of those types
mm-hmm.
of shows. And it was
Hal
always
Sparks.
Like Tonya Harding.
Yep. Yep.
And I feel like a lot of Danny Bonaducci
on this one,
in there.
you see like, oh gosh, what was his name from NSYNC?
Lance Bass.
Lance Bass. Yep.
Yeah.
He's on there.
Danny Bonaducci.
There's a bunch of Danny Bonaducci. Johnny Fairplay pops in for a couple episodes.
That guy rode that 15 minutes for a long time.
As a Survivor, but it was.
What was it,
funny.
like season 2 of Survivor?
No,
or something?
It was like season. I want to say like 11 or 12.
Oh, was it that late? I was thinking it was early. Yeah,
it was up there. But you would think, as a fan of both Survivor and pro wrestling, this dude would be right up my alley. But I hated that guy.
Wasn't Puck one of them too?
No, Puck was
from the Real World.
Yeah.
Puck wasn't he one of the guys too?
Did he show up on Survivor?
I feel like there was a Puck one in there.
He
Puck
might
was
have.
running around in there too.
Let me see.
Because Johnny Fairplay and Puck are basically one and the same.
There's rumors that Dierks Bentley might show up on this season.
Oh, really?
The country singer? Yeah.
Because
he's a huge fan. And they're
of
saying,
Survivor?
Of Survivor. And they're saying they want to, maybe send him out. I'm like, he's going to get kicked off quick because everybody knows he's a multi-millionaire.
It's been a long time that show's on the air. Why are they just not getting around to a Celebrity Survivor?
Well, I would think it's not a Celebrity Survivor.
Well, I mean, if they're going to get Dierks out there, might as well. I mean, let's face it. Either Dierks is unfairly advantaged or he is disadvantaged. Because people might look at him and say, Dierks Bentley's a millionaire. Get this dude off the show.
And that's what I would think most of the
But then again,
crew would
people
say.
are like, I want to be friends with Dierks Bentley.
That's true. It would be some chance to kind of hang out.
Trying to get some rub off after the show.
Right.
Some Dierks Bentley time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so it could go either way.
That's true.
That's why you need a bunch of Dierks Bentleys out there.
Yeah. You need I would think you need a group of celebrities.
But then Survivor's going to turn into I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
Right.
Remember that gem of a show? Speaking of show gems.
Spencer and Heidi. And that's another
Stuttering
one of those,
John was one of the contestants in one of those seasons of I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here.
That's another one of those nostalgia bite-offs.
Yeah.
Is on YouTube. You can find whole episodes of The Soup.
Oh, yeah?
And that was right in that vein of when that show was on.
Yeah.
He would always talk about.
Yeah, The Soup was
kind
of in its heyday there in the 90s. It was that's really what got, what's his name famous?
Joel McHale.
McHale.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I started watching more of that late shit, the Saturday night movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy that plays the head writer, he's not as famous as the rest of the players. Because he was behind the scenes. He does that opening bit, and it's what's his name, like O'Callahan or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, the actor that plays him and the way he portrays him is very much like Joel McHale. Like I kept not seeing Joel McHale in that whole thing.
Let's see if I can find more info.
Like the more he talked and the more he did it, it's not Joel McHale.
Right.
But the mannerisms, the way and it doesn't look like him, but the way he talks, the way he, how that Joel McHale, it's very McHale-esque.
Not Matthew Reese. Matthew Reese was George Carlin, by the way.
Yeah.
Neil Levy. No, Dan Aykroyd. Okay, Dylan O'Brien played Dan Aykroyd. Now that answered that question.
Yeah, it's
I
the
had
one.
yesterday.
Here, I think I can. Hold on, this is professional. Radio.
Yeah, this is super professional.
But
right, absolutely.
We need to know. Did I leave the cast up? I think I did.
I'm genuinely curious. I got to go back or go watch.
Well, and the other, Nicholas Braun, is an actor. If you've seen the TV series Succession.
Yep. Now that you say that and I look at his face, yep, you're absolutely right.
He is he plays the young nephew in that where there's the kids are the main characters, and then there's the dad's brother's son that pops in the first episode, and he ends up working in like the theme park and all. Anyway, he's in the Saturday night movie as two characters. He plays Jim Henson. He also plays dang it, the dude from Taxi.
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, thank you. That name just went right out of my head. So, let's see if I can find.
Yeah. So I definitely want to go back and check that movie out. I did watch the trailer for it, and I like the fact that they actually dropped the "You're not ready for prime time" line, and that's where that whole thing was born. And it was Willem Dafoe who actually dropped that line. Willem Dafoe's character.
Yeah, because he's kind of the antagonist in the movie. Did you watch the movie?
No, I watched the trailer.
Okay.
David Tebbutt is the name of the. Willem Dafoe plays the executive named David Tebbutt.
Gotcha.
Who is the first person to give you the "not ready for prime time" line.
Right. Well, but overall, it was a good show.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
It was a good movie, and I thought it was good. But there's a lot of pop-ups. Like there's the other actor that I've seen in a bunch of stuff. He always plays a nerd type. Yeah, the movie The Internship with Vince Vaughn and
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, the kind of the nerd that worked at Google that was like the head of their little group. That actor. He's also in Silicon Valley. He's also in a bunch of stuff.
I think I kind of know
who you're talking about. He plays a writer in that, too, as a bit part that they pulled him off of a bar next door. He was writing for some hack comic who was played by Brad Garrett.
Yeah.
So, but it's an interesting movie. You like SNL and all that? I went back because I missed the beginning of it, so I went back and watched the beginning, and then I started watching more of it. But it was kind of after seeing some of it for a second time, the more I'm digging it, the more I'm liking it.
I had other programming I had to view last evening, but it's on my watch list for tonight for sure.
Yeah. Well, let me give you Le Rundown for today's show. We're going to replay an interview this hour talking Tai Chi with Marty. We're going to play that for you here this hour. Next hour, we're going to play our interview. Jason Garcia and Amy McVeigh-Tejas joined us a week ago from the Historical Society. We'll play that interview for you. And then in 9 o'clock hour, it's tax season. I know you don't want to hear it. W-2s are showing up, if not showing up. Speaking of which.
Yeah, I haven't seen ours.
We need to get ours.
I reckon they'll probably come today.
I reckon you're right.
With the troops.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the troops are coming today. I forgot the troops.
The troops.
Anyway, so we're gonna have Ari Maldonado join us with H&R Block here, and she's gonna give us some talking about. But they got some stuff going on, some giveaways and stuff.
Yep.
At H&R Block here in Roswell. So we'll talk with Ari here in the 9 o'clock hour.
Very good.
Plus, we'll have all the newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, sports, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But let's take a gander at that weather. Like I said, I see sunshine, I see rain, I see warmth, I see cold. You got it all in like 4 days.
Desert weather, folks. Live it, love it.
The meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Will be in the upper 40s for the afternoon high today. Some clouds moving in ahead of a low pressure system headed our way. Could get a few showers overnight, and some fog. Will be in the mid 30s, and then a few showers possible on Wednesday. We're expecting low 50s, and we will have a little bit of sunshine. Clear for Wednesday night, and then we're back to sunny skies on Thursday and Friday, 50s and 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 26 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 78%. Winds currently out of the north at 6 miles per hour. We are looking at partly cloudy skies today. Highs expected to reach 50, right up 50. Winds will be out of the east at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight we're looking at a 20% chance of rain after 11, mixing with some snow about 2 in the morning. Expect, let's see, patchy fog could be showing up here also early on Wednesday, but overnight low of 34. So, I don't know, it says changing over to snow. If 34, it's not going to be that much. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. We're looking at a 20% chance of rain and snow before 8 a.m. tomorrow, then just rain between 8 and 11. Patchy fog till about 9 tomorrow, otherwise mostly sunny. Highs expected to reach 53 tomorrow with north winds 5 to 10. We'll hopefully get a little moisture there. Could always use the rain. And Wednesday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 27. West winds 5 to 10. Thursday, sunny, 56 for a high. West winds 5 to 10. And then Friday, we hit into the 60s. Sunny and 64 for Friday. Sunny and 67 for Saturday. And then we're in the mid-70s on Sunday. 76 on Sunday. And then 74 on Monday of next week. So things warm up for the weekend. All right, 7:19. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break. We'll get you into your Roswell Livestock Report recap with Smiley Wooten, and quick break, and then we'll play our interview with Marty from Tai Chi for Health. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 2,252 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady to higher market with excellent buyer attendance. Compared to last week, stocker calves sold steady, feeder cattle 5 to 10 higher, packer cows and bulls $5 to $9 higher, 3 to 400 pound steers $435, $465, 3 to 400 pound heifers $382, $395, 4 to 500 pound steers $358, $435, 4 to 500 pound heifers $320, $382, 5 to 600 pound steers $325, $358, 5 to 600 pound heifers $287 to $320, 6 to 700 pound steers $278, $312, $125. 6 to 700 pound heifers $242.50 to $287. 7 to 800 pound steers $261 $278. 7 to 800 pound heifers $237 $242. Packer cows $130 $140. Canner and cutter cows $115 $125. Packer bulls $156 $168. Feeder bulls $130 $140. The cow calf pairs not well tested, and the top half the bred cows $2,500 to $3,150 per head. We do appreciate the business, and we'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
The Roswell Symphony Orchestra presents Shearer Plays Vaughn Williams, Saturday, March 1st at Pearson Auditorium, featuring Dr. Jim Shearer, professor of tuba at New Mexico State University, in the Vaughn Williams Concerto for Tuba and Orchestra, plus Beethoven's 7th Symphony, along with works by Barber, Sibelius, and Mozart. Get tickets and more information at roswellsymphony.org or by calling 575-623-5882. Shearer Plays Vaughn Williams, Saturday, March 1st at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell. Sponsored in part by Dr. John and Ms. Deanne Kaysen and the Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Time to move into a new year at the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in Roswell. Valentine's fabrics are here and spring fabrics are arriving daily with a great selection of quilts, Valentine shirts, and rope bowls made right here at the Calico Cow. And Brothers sewing machines are on sale now. Plus, the Calico Cow can fix and perform maintenance on all brands. Out of town? Log on to RoswellQuilting.com to order. We ship direct. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us. And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, it's been a minute since we've had a chance to talk to her, but Mari Manchenko back with us from the Tai Chi for Health Institute.
Right. Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, Mike. Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm very good.
Great.
Thank you.
And you also brought one of our one of your students here today as well, Phil Markin as well. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Morning. I'm doing great.
Good deal. Well, so for folks that don't know, if we've never heard, but Mana, you've been talking to us for years now, offering Tai Chi for Health Institute classes all over, really not just Roswell, but Rito. So kind of Pecos Valley area here a little bit over the years. And so, and you really specialize in making Tai Chi for everybody and focusing on the health side for it. And regardless of your health status, regardless of your age, regardless of your physical condition, regardless of any of that, Tai Chi can benefit you.
Yes.
And that's what you like to, whether you're in a wheelchair, no problem. If you have a walker, that ain't a hurdle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's nothing to really prevent you. And that's kind of your jam, so to speak, is to allow and to show the world of Tai Chi to how this can provide overall health benefits for and I know certain things it's like, well, we're not officially allowed to advertise, but you're seeing so many symptoms of issues, health issues, stroke stuff, heart stuff, whatever it is, people are seeing benefits from just doing Tai Chi.
Well, we really are allowed to advertise because it's considered an evidence-based program.
I know a lot of times it's science, but
science
whenever you get
exists.
FDA involved in things, and you know how that goes. But
well, for here in particular, the New Mexico Department of Health recommends this program, and the Center for Disease Control and the Arthritis Foundation, and now the Veterans Administration. They have been
more and more
suggesting
getting
Tai
on board.
Chi, but this program in particular,
And why it works is because, obviously skill level. If you've never walked in and done Tai Chi before, you're not going to go in there and be a Tai Chi master all of a sudden. But regardless of your, there's things you can do with Tai Chi that benefit. You could literally sit in your chair at your desk.
Yeah.
Or
in the car.
Or on the commode, God forbid.
Absolutely. On the commode in the airplane. You actually can do it anywhere.
And that's the beauty of it, and you're going to get benefit. And that's what these classes are about. So we want to invite as many people, especially folks that are having mobility or health issues that, maybe are going down different paths and not seeing results they're hoping for. And, now, I will always say this. Always talk to your doctors, your primary. Those are the people that are in charge. You have your medical conversations with.
Right.
So whatever they're telling you to do.
Right.
However, let's see if we can add this to the repertoire and see if maybe we can get your doctor to back you off on some of these other things and see what kind of results happen.
Right. Well, we certainly do have some local physicians that are referring people to the classes and chiropractors and physical therapists. So, it's good.
Yeah. So, Phil, is one of your students?
Yes, he is.
Can we? What, Phil? So let me ask you, what brought you to Mahdi?
Well, I was heading out to Tucson.
Okay.
And you came on the radio, the two of you.
Ah, it was both of us.
And this is in November.
I never knew that.
This is in November.
Oh, really?
And I ain't got nothing to write down. And then the next year, somewhere early in the year, I heard you again.
Okay.
And I got to the parking lot, and I'm sitting there waiting. I said, "You're going to give me the number, I know. Keep that." And I got the number.
It's called we're trying to drag it out to keep you listening. That's just kidding. It's a tease.
That's
awesome.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I love when people tell me radio works sometimes.
Oh, it does,
that's
though.
the moment.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Well, good deal.
It was radio.
Yeah, it was. Glad. And so let me ask, what's going on in your world that you said maybe I need to talk to Mahdi? You tell me you don't get personal as you want or whatever, but just
when you get to a certain age, you'll get there one of these days.
I'm getting there now, man.
And
I'm telling you,
you'll
there's
find
things
out
that
things don't move as well.
Yeah, I'm learning that one.
And I hadn't fallen down or anything, but I've tripped.
Sure.
Almost fall down, and they says it's arthritis. No, I ain't worried about that.
Sure.
Balance. And I found that I've been going for about a year now, and I've picked up some good habits.
Gotcha. And you're starting to see more fluidity in your movements and
I'm more stable.
It almost sounds like you were feeling like you were losing a little bit of control of your body. You know what I mean? Like the things you relied on aren't reliable anymore, and this was restoring that.
The moves you used to make will get you in trouble after a while.
Yeah. Our brain don't know that, though. You're like, I can still play football. What are you talking about, man? I get it.
Well, a lot of times when people trip or things happen in our lives, it's not because we're not strong.
Sure.
The body's not that broken down, but it's paying attention.
Sure.
So part of what it's called the meditative martial art, because it just, aside from the physical strength and balance that you build, but it helps that brain connection because we're moving slowly.
Sure. And that's kind of, where I think Tai Chi addresses when we talk about people getting in shape. It's like you got to eat right, you got to exercise, and these are all true statements. None of this is false. However, I think the biggest hurdle sometimes in doing that is not here or here.
Right.
It's here.
Yeah, that is true.
It's your brain. And for those not watching the video, I put my arm, my knee, and my head. I think we out-talk ourselves or out-think or I also attribute this to a lot of the things you hear in life where, say, a husband or a wife dies, and then within the year, it just seems, regardless of health, the spouse goes with it. Or, I feel like this is all in the territory we're talking about here, that connection. And I think Tai Chi kind of taps into that a little bit.
I think
that
it
makes
fills
sense.
a lot of needs, and it is also very good for brain injuries. That's one of the things the VA was recommending for was brain trauma, and but we're having to deal with right-left patterns that we have and habits that we have, and breaking new pathways in the brain, literally, of getting us a little clearer minded, even maybe.
Well, and the reason, and I think I've talked with you about this in the past, but a couple of years ago, my wife had a brain issue.
Right.
And I think her recovery process is what I learned a lot about. Yeah. And because, at the end of the day, it was a bleed, and, they fixed up. And my wife's completely 100% fine, which, thank God we're all. But, at the time, and so you look at it, and so basically at the end of the day, they're fixing a wound in her head.
Right.
But the path to recover from that, just to give, when my wife was released from the hospital, she had to sign her name to be, discharged.
Right.
And she had to take a full, 15, 20 seconds to remember how to sign her name. Yeah. Like her brain, it got to a point where her brain almost had to retrain her to do things.
Right.
But here's the part that kind of messed with my head a little bit, is the day or two after she got home, my wife was complaining of extreme nerve pain from her arms, her legs, all over her body. And for life, man, and they knew this was coming, but it's something that's part of that healing process that as it's, kind of relearning how to do stuff, it was going through some changes, and it was making it discomfort. And so just seeing that from that just kind of almost strengthens what you talk about through Tai Chi and how everything's connected, and just, like dental work. 30 years ago, ain't no one talking about your heart or any of your health if you're going to get a cavity filled or getting something. Right. Nowadays, they're recommending you're doing heart checkups and things before you do, because we can now see.
Yes.
We're learning so much about the human body, and there's so much we don't know yet. Despite what we do know, there's so much we don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tai Chi taps into a lot of areas that we still don't know yet. You know what I mean? The areas, that parts, they always say things about using 10% of your brain and 90% all this. I don't know all those numbers, but I think Tai Chi taps into these places that we just don't know the science on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think as we learn more, we're going to say Tai Chi is going to be, more, it's going to transform, because it's an art, martial art at the end of the day. I think it's going to transfer from a martial art label to a treatment label, if that makes sense. Like if you're a stroke patient or a rehab label. Right. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you can get prescriptions written, depends on your insurance, but you can get Tai Chi paid through some insurance companies as a rehabilitative therapy.
Sure. And so this is what I'm talking about. And so I'm saying, go to the Salvation Army and go to a class.
Check
it out.
Give me a call.
What do you got to lose? Because at the end of the day, I think, especially for folks that have hit the wall with 27 other options and are not finding success.
Right.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Not a dang thing.
Yeah.
So sign up for these classes. And the good news is, you got your ones going on here for January for media, but I think your beginners classes will be starting up here shortly thereafter,
well,
right?
I've been running the beginning for probably 6 months now, because I would do.
Because you started a formal class here in December for the beginners, right? Or was that intermediate?
No, intermediate's been running for a while.
I get a little confused on the different levels.
Well,
here,
I would have a class, and then those people would graduate and move on into the other classes. So, but I did have a new one starting up, and those folks are going to be probably moving into the other class pretty soon. So, there you go. There's a space for you.
You've been in Phil now for about a year now. What kind of, where are you at in your progress? Like, are you still beginning, or are you more, are you teaching classes now, or what's going on?
I told him, there's certifications. We could use another teacher in town.
I don't need to teach classes, but I've been there almost a year, I guess.
Awesome.
I'll go to the intermediate.
Sure. Personally for you, like your health today versus a year ago, how would you compare it?
Well, like I say, I feel more stable.
Gotcha.
And that's when your age starts with an 8, that's important.
Well, and here's the other thing. It brings confidence. Where the one thing begets the rest of the things. Because now you're stable, you're confident, and guess what? You're independent. You get to do what you want. Live how you want.
Always did that.
But you get to keep doing it longer. You know what I mean? And that's because, unfortunately, it's life. We're all going to hit that point where you got to hang up your saddle. That's just that's life. But you ain't got to do it today. That's all I'm saying.
So there's 2 things I want to mention.
Yeah.
One is the social aspect. And we're a friendly bunch. And there's no judgment. We all are at different places, and we all have different things we're dealing with. So sometimes it fills a slot, especially with COVID and how we used to stay home, you know.
And I'm going to take a stab at you love to welcome new folks, because I'm going to take a guess that many of your students, like Phil and some of the folks have been doing it for a while, they're going to become converts. And what I mean by that is when a person that walks into the studio that were them a year ago, they can't wait to, you know what I mean? Because when you have stuff that are really game-changing life moments,
right?
You kind of want to share that with the world or experience. And so I got a feeling, you know, you get those moments, like you said, it's a social thing. And so when that person that's literally in the same shoes you were a year ago walks in, you're like, come on in, we got you. This is going to be fun. A year from now, you're going to be one of us doing the same as the new person walks in. You know what I mean?
Well, we become a little bit of a family, too. So if somebody doesn't show up, I ask everybody to let me know if they can't come to class, but it's like, where are they? And people are wondering if they're okay. So,
and you know what? And the lives and the things have been going on in this community for the last 6 months or so. A network, you know, I imagine that was a life changer for some of those folks in your class. You know, just, you know, when there's floodings, when these things happen, and we're trying to connect with people and check in, especially because I'm going to take a stab that some of your students are probably live alone. Maybe don't have a lot of family nearby in some of these cases, and not a lot of people to check in on them from time to time. So that is an ancillary positive from this, where it's like, you got Tai Chi and all that, but you just accidentally created a whole kind of second family for yourself.
Sure.
That's always the positive.
It gets me out of the house 2 days a week.
Sure, exactly. Here you go. And then plus it makes us behave ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I got a feeling, Phil.
I don't know.
I got a feeling, Phil, you're like me. You get time on your hands and you start thinking, and next thing you know, you might, you know, say something that, you know, isn't acceptable in groups anymore. You know, I do that from time to time. Yeah. And so it reminds us that to stay connected with people and not get, you know, too jaded on things. Or just too, because the older you get, it's easier to get cemented in your opinions and things.
I am completely unsupervised.
Somebody's nervous right now. I know it. But at the end of the day, that's what the beauty of this is. I would argue that these classes have kind of you know, making you healthier, but also kind of rekindling just life in general. Just, you know, just feeling good about things and having a better outlook on things, despite what world hands you. You kind of look around and say, it'd be all right. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's where Tai Chi can help so greatly. Even, you know, forget all the, you know, the health, the actual physical health you see from it. Right. I think just having an outlook, and it's a hard world to live in. I ain't gonna, you know, it's just volatile. Everything we live in, everyone's going to question everything you do, and that really penetrates. And so whatever tools you can put in your belt to strengthen your mind, to strengthen your soul, your body, I think Tai Chi for Health is a very good tool to help you do that.
Well, and we leave the world at the door. And when we come in, we start paying attention, you know, being friendly, saying hi to everybody, notice our breathing and do our Tai Chi, and focus on our body, mind, spirit health, and laugh.
And that's,
I
think,
where
the
laughing, don't we?
Yeah. But I think that's where the mental health comes in, because some people need to be trained to turn it off.
Right.
And that's not easy to do. So in Tai Chi really teaches you how to, that ability to say, no, turn that off, you know.
And there are a few small things that you can actually learn, take home, and do that at home. So the tools that you learn there, you can do it anytime.
Sure. And by the way, that when you're having trouble sleeping because you can't turn it off, now you can turn it off, and and I don't care what anybody says. You know, if you get a good, because that's your body's restore time. And the more, the better sleep you get, the better your body restores and re-heals. And so Tai Chi can help there too. You know, if you're having sleep issues, there's literally, that's what I'm saying. There's so many things you didn't think about that Tai Chi could actually resolve in your life that you maybe weren't anticipating it or thinking that's going to do. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, I'm sleeping better. You know, just things like that. Those little things. You know, just by doing that. That's why I'm saying sign up for the classes. So if you're day one, just hearing this today like Phil was a year ago, what's the best way to get involved right now with the sign up, with classes and things?
Well, call me.
Okay.
You can go ahead and call me first. We'll start with that because some people don't like
Start
to
with
do
a conversation.
Yeah. So my phone number is 575.
Writing this down, Phil. This is the part you're waiting for.
He's got this now. 575-626-7150.
Very good.
That's my phone number.
Very
and
good.
I'll call you back if I can't pick up. You can do a few other things. You can email me.
Sure.
And my email address is health, HEALTH, number 1.
Okay.
ST, which is first.
Okay.
Right, but it's the number 1 ST.
Gotcha. So health first, but 1 ST.
Yes, 1 ST at yahoo.com.
Very good.
And if
That's
you
way
are,
easier than trying to spell her name, by the way.
Yeah. Marie Celine is my full name, but I get Marty.
So I get Marty.
You can also go to the Tai Chi for Health Institute website and see the programs.
And
see
that's
the other programs. Look at me. I'm on there too.
That's that's the big umbrella. That's the under where you study, where you kind of where your mentors, where everything that you've learned.
Right.
You got it through the institute
Tai Chi
here.
for Health Institute, right.
And so if you want to go to the website, because it's an international thing.
It is.
So if you're looking to learn about the classes here in Roswell, call Marty directly. But if you want to learn more about what we're talking about on the big scope of Tai Chi and what it's benefiting and the results, the evidence we're seeing and some of the some of the accreditations and things that Marty's talking about here, that's where you go to learn, read more about it, and kind of do your own deep dive on it. The Tai Chi for Health Institute website there will have all of it. If you're a research person, that's your best resource.
And so that website is taichiforhealthinstitute.org.
Yeah.
And you can find my contact information on there because I'm accredited.
And if you do like your Facebook search for Tai Chi for Health, you'll see the national stuff there. And you can read more about it.
Yeah.
I would throw in some Roswell on there if you want to get into some Amati stuff there, or basically Salvation Army. If you kind of type that in, because it's all happening at the Salvation Army here in town, that'll kind of connect you. You can plug in. You can see some of the flyers from the actual classes and things that we're talking about here locally.
Yeah.
But I know you've got classes ongoing right now for intermediates. They're continuing on into January here.
Right.
But then the next batch of the classes will pick up here in February.
Right.
Now this is these classes. These are for more for beginning, right? Or is this it's beginning and intermediate?
So they run. There are 3 here. There are 4 classes a week on Mondays.
Okay.
We have a beginner's class, then we have the intermediate class, and then we have the Tai Chi 2, which is more advanced class.
Okay.
Wednesday we have a basic Tai Chi class.
Okay.
Everybody's welcome in that also.
Sure. And I imagine you'd even get some of your more advanced coming for refreshers.
We all
or
come into the Wednesday
fine
class.
tuning.
Twice a week is if you want to learn it and you want to really benefit, you need to come more often if you can.
Sure.
I had a beginner start a few months ago, but she had to work her schedule around. Now she's in both beginning and the Wednesday class.
Well.
And I also teach in Ruidoso. So let me give you that information.
Well, and that'd be handy too. Like maybe, I don't know, in the summer months, maybe you like to go visit.
Take a drive,
but you don't want to miss an opportunity. Maybe the planets will align and you can catch a class in Ruidoso.
Yes, or vice versa.
Or vice versa.
I offer Roswell classes to Ruidoso people, but they don't usually take up that offer. But sometimes the Roswell people will go up to Ruidoso.
Well, let's face it.
They're not interested
More
in leaving
people are interested in
Roswell.
coming and visit
They go to doctors
Roswell.
here, but
We may have aliens here, but as far as hanging out, Ruidoso's a little prettier.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. But I have, at this point, just Friday afternoon classes at 2 o'clock in Ruidoso. And again, call me and I'll give you the address.
Excellent.
Then we have a short 30-minute class also in Ruidoso on Fridays.
Excellent.
So Ruidoso classes are Fridays at this point, and I'm going to add a Monday class there too.
And that's another facet I'd like to point out too is time is not an issue with Tai Chi. If you got 5 minutes, you can knock out some Tai Chi.
Right.
If you got an hour to dedicate it, and you can knock out a lot of Tai Chi.
Right.
But what it works with your schedule. Whether you're a person on the go that's in hotels every night, on the road every night, or someone that's a homebody. Or something in between where most of us live. That's the beauty of what the classes. And so when you take these classes and come, you'll learn these things. And like you said, you got to practice. You got to, it's an art. Anytime you want to get good at something, you got to keep doing it to get better at it.
Right.
And and so when you go home and do these things on your own, you'll find out that, and then you build it into your schedule. And that's what hopefully I think you're looking for at the end of the day is you find those ways, whether you got a busy schedule. It's like, okay, I'm sitting at a traffic light. I got 20 minutes in traffic here. Guess what? I can work on this a little bit. You know what I mean?
That sounds like L.A. That doesn't sound like Roswell.
Yeah, other part, maybe not so much in Roswell you're dealing with that, but there are some places where you're sitting a while, and that's. Yeah. But that's my point is you'll find out that it adapts to your life schedule, or you'll be able to incorporate it easily. Whether you want to, just do a little bit or a lot, you'll find a way to do that. And so, sign up for these classes. Start here. If you've never picked up any kind of class or done anything with Tai Chi, you're just like if you're walking in saying, their noodles are delicious. What? maybe, if you're
Tai Chi. There's another one too.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're in that state, then maybe come out to the Salvation Army here in February for one of these first classes. Come out on a Wednesday, and let's see what we can do to get.
And they are in
started.
the afternoon. They're Monday. The beginning Monday is 2:30. And the intermediate, which you wouldn't go into right away if you've not done Tai Chi before.
No, would not recommend that. Yeah.
But so beginning is Mondays at 2:30, and then Wednesdays is basic at 3:30, and both of those are very open to any beginners. And then the Friday class up in Ruidoso is 2:00, and that's also a beginning class, kind of running similarly.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is it's even though it's beginning classes, it's like it doesn't matter where your level is. Doesn't matter your health. I don't care. You can walk in there looking like an Adonis, and you're on the same level as a person that's in a wheelchair.
One of the classes up there, one of the students brought his nephew in who is visiting, and he's about a 35, I would say, year-old fella, real big, strapping guy, and he was very interested in he'd never done it before. And he said, can I do what you're doing? Because the first part of that class starts seated, because that's where we can really access our core and feel that more than standing if you're a beginner. So we graduate seated. Both classes have seated and standing. And he wanted to start standing. I says, nope, you got to start seated. And he was like, oh, but
you got to learn to crawl before you walk, right?
He was a nice guy, though. By the end of the class, he heard it. And then we moved, and he was like, wow. This is very cool. This is really relaxing. I see why you wanted me to sit first.
I imagine sometimes you have to do the battle with the athlete types, folks that are in good shape and athletic.
Yeah.
But their idea of in shape is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the pain is gain, that whole mindset. And I'm like, if you're trying to be a weightlifter in the Olympics, maybe that is the mantra. But most of us aren't trying to do that. And so, but I imagine it's fun for you to have those moments where you get an athletic type, and despite the fact that it doesn't look like they're strenuous.
Yeah, it's not easy.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like back in the day. I remember, you'd see like football players taking ballet classes, and they'd make fun of them because and then it's like, take that class and see if you're laughing at the end of that class. And then they realize there's a huge benefit to it, and now they're all flexible, straight. You know what I mean? And I think Tai Chi's like that, where you get people that are just athletic types, and you come in there and rock the world, and they ain't even stood up yet. You know?
Right. It's true.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to ask another question too here before we wrap up, because I feel like this could also be a benefit. Is, do you have students that are doing this for not, but like any of your students that are dealing or have dealt with like substance abuse or those kind of, because I kind of feel like Tai Chi would benefit people that are, that have dealt with substance abuse. Maybe you're an addict or recovering addict, and I feel like Tai Chi is a valuable tool for folks like that, or could potentially be. I'm just wondering if you deal with any work like that or come across some of that as you're doing your Tai Chi.
That's not part of my spectrum.
That's what I said. I don't think
that may be in the background of people, but that's not where
that's
I go.
That's where I'm feeling like.
However,
I feel like that would be
the reason. This is my thinking.
Yeah.
The reason the VA started studying Tai Chi and doing Tai Chi with their people, and then now actually adopted this particular program. When you come out of a wartime situation, there's a lot of addiction involved, And
PTSD is treated with a lot of things
PTSD.
it shouldn't be treated with.
Yes, well,
and that's just human nature. Yeah,
that's not for me to say, but
well, I mean that's human nature.
I get you.
It's usually self-medicated. It's not prescribed per se.
Right. Well, yeah, maybe though,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Absolutely.
But we are confronted. We're confronted with ourselves.
Sure.
And it becomes quite peaceful. Doing the work becomes peaceful. So it starts changing your neurology.
And that's why I'm thinking, I feel like if you're maybe, okay, like I said, we can't get a doctor and say, 9 out of 10 doctors say you should do this, but I'm feeling like if you're on that road to recovery, I feel like Tai Chi might be one of those tools you could use to get you through the rough parts. When you have the moments in life that you're struggling with that you would turn to the bottle or whatever your vice was.
Right.
Maybe Tai Chi's the thing you turn to. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that could be a tool, regardless of what doctors and scientists say. I'm just a guy putting 2 and 2 together and saying, based on what it's doing for a lot of people, I feel like this might be a tool in the bag that could help with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So whatever your reason is to walk through the door, don't matter. Walk through the door. Check it out. And if you give it your all and try it out, I guarantee you're going to feel better about yourself 1 year later if you you know what I mean? And I think Phil's, you're the proof in the pudding, and every Phil, you're not the first. We've had a few other folks come on with us. And sorry, Phil.
I'm sure he meant that well.
I meant that kindly. But each time they come in, and some were worse off than you were, where they were coming in and they were, I remember one gentleman, he couldn't even walk at some point. That man come in here walking under his own power. And a year ago he was in a wheelchair or and so you see those results firsthand time and time again. So
well, I know for me and my own health, I've had injuries and I'm pretty active.
Sure.
But when I miss some classes because of the snow or whatever up in Ruidoso, I feel a difference in my health. I feel a difference in my strength and my normally peaceful nature.
You got off your routine.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get off your routine, and that's what it does here. But again, Madi, one more time, give out your phone number for anyone that would like more information or call or say, hey, I'm interested in signing up for these new classes. Where do I go and when do I do it? So.
Right. 575-626-7150.
Very good.
And you can call, leave a message. You can text if you wish. I'll call you back. Whatever works for you, or email me.
And of course, she's as much in Ruidoso doing stuff as she is here in Roswell. So, folks, if there's sometimes there's a few. Sometimes the antenna signal floats. It gets cut off in the mountains, but you can pick us back up there.
Yeah.
So some of those folks listening, don't forget, Monty might be there in your town too here. So don't and if you have questions, don't reach out because I know if you're looking for an opportunity to really make a difference, Monty can help you out with this stuff. It's all, and I don't care what level you are. You know what? If someone told you just got diagnosed with cancer and you got 6 months to live, God, sign up for this class. I bet we can find some ways to. Who knows? Maybe 6 months turns into a year. I don't know. Right. But I'm just saying, what do you got to lose?
Right.
We can do stuff with your body to make it do. And I'm just saying. I know this sounds. Like, I feel like Tai Chi is because we don't know the stuff. It's just like human history. When we don't know it, we turn it into gods or voodoo or witch doctors. That's just, human nature. And so I feel like, some of the results you're going to look at it in that vein is it's this, but it's tapping into things that I don't think we understand yet. And I think that's why I feel like give it a shot because, to be honest, I think there's a lot of issues and things that we just don't have an issue for, and I think this is the path we got to go to find those answers. So let's start going down that path and see what happens.
Yeah, sure. Give me a call. We'll see how it goes.
Very good. Well, thank you. Thank you, Phil, for coming in. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening. One of my 2 fans right there.
Yeah, how about that?
There you go. Thank you for your service. And based on your hat, I'm going to feeling you've served. So thank you for your service. I appreciate what you do. So good. And thank you, Madi.
Thanks.
We'll see you here next time. Here, maybe next month or whenever we can get you in to kind of remind folks as the weather gets warmer and people feel like going and doing things, maybe they'll be more motivated to give it a try.
Right.
When
it's a little warmer.
When it's 2 degrees out, people, I ain't moving nowhere.
Right.
Unless it's to put my cocoa or coffee from here to here, or move the blanket from here to here. But thank you guys, appreciate it. All right, it is 9:53. Let's pause for news.
I'm Jared Cirillo. Rumors of ICE activity in southeast New Mexico have been running rampant since the inauguration of President Donald Trump a little more than a week ago. One story coming out of the Mescalero Apache tribe where a member claims he was approached by an ICE agent in Ruidoso. The tribe's president, Thora Walsh Padilla, issued a statement that said ICE agents questioned a tribal member and asked to see the person's passport. The member provided a driver's license and tribal ID, and the agent reportedly left without further action. The tribe is urging members to ask for an agent's badge or identity and begin recording any interactions as quickly as possible. Democratic New Mexico Senator Martin Heinrich says he has no intention of running for governor in 2026. On Friday, the 53-year-old U.S. Senator issued a public statement that said after careful consideration and many conversations with family, constituents, and colleagues, he's decided to remain in the U.S. Senate. However, Heinrich also blasted recent actions by President Donald Trump, including an executive order seeking to eliminate birthright citizenship protections. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. We got some ball games going on tonight. Boys basketball will catch up with some scores from over the weekend, too. Roswell playing at Hobbs tonight. District opener for the Coyotes, who are 16-4 overall. Hobbs 17-3. It starts at 7 o'clock this evening. Roswell's last game was a week ago when they beat Artesia on the road by a deuce. Also tonight, it's Gateway Christian playing at Melrose. Both teams are 11-4. That starts at 7. Anything closer to home? Yeah. How about Hagerman playing at home against Texaco? The Bobcats are 9-4. Texaco is 12-1. That starts at 7. From over the weekend, Goddard beat Santa Teresa Saturday on the road, 56-52. It was NMMI knocking off Socorro, also on the road, 75-37, and Dexter beat Cloudcroft 62-48 on Friday. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Time to trade in and trade up in 2025 with Roswell Honda. With a fresh new lineup of vehicles and great rates that mean you can trade up and save. Like a new 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid, just 4.9% for 48 months, 2.9% for 36 months on new Pilot and Ridgeline, and 2.9% for up to 60 months on new 2025 Honda Accord. So hurry in before the savings pass you by. Trade in, trade up, and save at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is your one-stop shop for farm and ranch supplies in southeastern New Mexico, with a friendly, knowledgeable team that can help you find the answer to your problems. With brands you know, including Preferred, Pearson, Purina, High Pro Feeds, Ariat, Wrangler, Cinch, Justin Boots, and more. Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is a proud supporter of area sports, 4-H, FFA, and the farmers and ranchers of tomorrow. Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd, celebrating being family-owned and operated for 50 years.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Attention Roswell. The all-new Roswell Ford is back and open for business for service, parts, and sales at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. Our goal for 2025 is to make buying a new Ford and quality pre-owned vehicle super fun, super fast, and super easy. In fact, we'll give you the price we give to a friend or family member right up front. Bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it. At Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with even more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
President Trump urging House Republicans to back his crackdown on illegal immigration.
We're tracking down the illegal alien criminals. We're detaining them, and we are throwing them out of our country. We have no apologies, and we're moving forward very fast. They're very dangerous people.
The president has signed a series of executive orders focusing on the military. One could result in a ban on transgender troops. Other orders roll back DEI programs and shield the U.S. by setting up a missile defense system similar to Israel's Iron Dome. The Justice Department has pink-slipped employees involved in anti-Trump lawfare, arguing they can't be trusted to faithfully enact the president's agenda.
The firings affected career prosecutors who worked on special counsel Jack Smith's team, and the action reflects President Trump's determination to purge the government of workers he perceives as disloyal. The move was made even though rank-and-file prosecutors, by tradition, remain in their positions across presidential administrations and are not punished for working on sensitive investigations.
White House correspondent Craig Clugston. The village of East Palestine and Norfolk Southern have announced a $22 million settlement. It resolves all of the Ohio village's claims arising from the disastrous train derailment back in 2023. The rains that helped Southern California firefighters battling those wildfires have also left a muddy mess in some wildfire-ravaged neighborhoods. Google Maps changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico. In the U.S., it will be labeled as the Gulf of America. That comports with President Trump's wishes. The Alaska mountain called Denali will be renamed Mount McKinley, its previous name. Watching Wall Street this morning, stocks are mixed. The Dow is down about 23 points, NASDAQ up 87. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Rwandan-backed M23 rebels claim control of eastern Congo's strategic city of Goma, the hub of a region that contains trillions of dollars of largely untapped mineral wealth. The BBC's Emery Bakameno is there.
I've been just talking to some few residents in Goma, and they've been telling me that all through the night they've been hearing gunshots here and there in some part of the city, and this morning things have just intensified where there are even more gunshots being heard in Goma. They don't know who is really in control of the city. They've told me that the M23 is gaining ground. Many of them have been stuck indoors since last Friday without food, without electricity, without internet.
Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians streaming into heavily destroyed northern Gaza, their first chance to return since the early weeks of the 15-month Israel-Hamas war. News and analysis at townhall.com. 3 years in prison for a California woman in a case involving so-called birth tourism and birthright citizenship.
It's all because she ran a business that helped pregnant Chinese women travel to the United States to deliver babies who automatically became American citizens. U.S. District Judge R. Gary Klausner on Monday gave Phoebe Dong a 41-month sentence. Dong and her now separated husband Michael Liu were convicted in September of conspiracy and money laundering through their company USA Happy Baby. Keith Peters reporting.
Workers at a Whole Foods market in Pennsylvania voting to unionize. First group of employees to pull off a labor win at the Amazon-owned grocery store chain. Employees at the Philadelphia store cast 130 votes, 57% of the ballots favoring joining the local chapter of the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Indeed.
It's a good day.
Yeah, it's great. That's going to be a nice one.
Yeah.
We're on the trajectory upwards.
Yeah, definitely heading towards I.
Yeah. looking towards I status. Can't wait for it.
That's right. Well, happy Tuesday. Hope
Yes.
everyone's having a wonderful day and a wonderful week thus far. Hard to believe we're almost done January.
I'm so glad that we're almost done with January. This has been the longest month on.
Has it?
Oh my God. It hasn't felt like it for you?
Well, like moments of it have, but looking back,
I mean,
we're already a month into 2025.
That's why time is such a fickle construct. Because yes, it's shocking that we're already a month into the new year. But that being said, this last month has been such a drag. It's just gone on and on. Literally, my friend's daughter the other day she out loud said, "When is January going to be over?" Like it feels like. And that lends itself to that Blue Monday thing that I was talking about, a week ago, where you're in that slog where it just feels like every day is long and forever taking, and there's not a lot of, optimism to grasp onto right now.
Right. Yeah, but I get that. And it's winter and it's cold and we've had winter and it's been cold and that always messes with people's brains a little bit sometimes. Especially if you're, like freezing cold by, you know what I mean? Like it's just a miserable.
Sure. And I had this thought on my way up the elevator this morning. I said, I would rather be cold. I know it's silly. I would rather be a cold person because I can put clothes on or find a heater and warm up than be a hot person because it takes so long for me to cool down.
Right.
And people are like, oh, remember how you saying you wish it was winter when it's cold out? I'm like, I do. I still don't like, feeling like a sweaty blob.
As I'm getting older, I am changing my thought on that. Yes, I still lean cold because of I've said it 1,000 times, I can keep adding clothes.
Exactly.
I can only take so much off.
Exactly. Legally speaking.
Well, even then, I'm at home.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming I can go as low as I want there within legally.
Although you might catch an interesting look from the missus.
Yeah.
Mike, is this the thing now?
I'm not breaking any laws. We'll just say that.
Sorry, Kim. Pooh Bear Saturday it is.
Smart choices. I can't throw me in jail for
Donald Duck Sundays. Buckle up.
It's birthday suit day every day here at my house. No, but so I didn't tend to lean that way. But as I get older, my body is much less tolerant of the cold.
I get that.
Yeah.
Things hurt more.
Yeah.
Like literally, and this is
I get cold so much easier now.
Well, I don't know why things hurt more when it's cold.
Yeah.
I was reaching into my the floorboard of the passenger seat of my car a couple days ago, and I like clipped my finger on the side of like the console.
Yeah.
I had to stop what I was doing and hold my hand like a baby for a good solid 30 seconds because it was like, it's so bad. It's just, things hurt worse when it's cold for some reason.
I don't, for 4 days, my neck and shoulder were hurting last week, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know what I did to it. It felt like I pulled a muscle on it. Nope. And it was yesterday before it started feeling normal.
You've reached old age when you can injure yourself during the sport of sleep.
Right.
I just put my shoulder up the wrong direction. Thing is, I fell asleep this way. You'd think my body would know better. Hey, Bud, wake up. This is going to suck later.
Well, now, pull back the curtain. I'm a mobile sleeper. I don't sleepwalk. I'm not saying that. But I flip-flop around in the bed like a fish coming out of water.
I'm not a good sleep partner. I do tend to toss and turn.
It's thanks to bed technology, it's much better now in our household than it used to be, but there are nights where my wife's still like, "Are you okay?" That's the
right. Stop it. Stop it.
That's usually when I get up.
You're going to spill my glass of wine on the end of this bed over here.
That's usually I go in the living room and sit for a minute or an hour or whatever, just depending on. But it's definitely the cold things kind of altered my as I've gotten older.
You know what I like? I like when it's nice.
Yeah.
I like spring. I like fall. I like temperate weather.
Right.
How about that? That's what I want.
Sunny and 70 all the time.
It's just, nice weather. That's what I wish.
That's what they say San Diego's like. I've never been there, but that's what they say.
Daniel Tosh has a great bit where he talks about, he's like, I like seasons. He's like, so do I. That's why I moved to California, where they skip all the crappy ones.
Right. Although, with fire and
season,
things, not necessarily, time to wanting to be moving to that area.
Not so much.
So, yeah. I'm very curious to see how this all plays out because that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Early estimates are at around $130 billion, and that's still real rough.
I just feel like there's going to be a lot of lawsuits. There's going to be a whole lot of fallout from this one.
And then luckily, and this is the good side, bad side of the sword that we know, specifically for the Ruidoso area, is they did have rainfall over the weekend that was able to get all of the.
It was creating that ash.
It got the
slides,
Eaton fire and the Altadena fires under control.
Yeah,
but it does create that rivers of ash and whatever was in the fire, like car batteries, and it makes for toxic flow essentially.
We've seen that.
Yep. Yes, we have. It's all too close to home, but so that's what they're going to be dealing with for the next little bit.
Just the political fallout and the legal fallout and all, because when there's that much money involved, there's going to be some heavy hitters.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just very curious to see how all this plays out at the end of the day. So, because when it seems like that much money, somebody's head's rolling somewhere. That's all I'm saying. Whose will it be?
It's mind-boggling when they have what I shouldn't say I love, but one of the cooler technologies that I enjoy is those pictures where you can take it and slide one way or the other and see the before and after. And they have several of those from the fires. The one that is by far the hardest hitting is the one from Pasadena.
Yeah,
because it just got leveled. I mean, you see like a whole thousands of homes, and they're just gone. They're just foundations.
Did you catch any of the like the miracle stories from some of that?
A few of those.
Like the one I caught was there was a blue VW bus. Did you hear that one? So there was a lady that's a surfer, and I think she lived in the bus.
Okay.
And she's a surfer lady, and
is she this tragedy's Lieutenant Dan?
Kinda.
Okay.
Like at least that's the there's probably a bunch of those, but this was just one I caught on TV.
Right.
Where the lady she's a surfer or whatever, and that's her van, and she's pretty well known in that. I don't remember what neighborhood it was, but one of the ones down by the beach. And so she had to evacuate, and the van stayed. And then, like, they were showing pictures of, like you're seeing online of all the stuff.
Right.
And there's literally showed this one of these houses all burnt, and then in the middle of the pictures is this blue, almost untouched VW bus. And the lady was like, friends were telling, is that your van? And they're like, yeah. And so I'd say like a week later, she was able to go in and get it.
That's the worst. This you, bro? That's not a great situation for that. No, there was one I heard that was, and this one kind of ticked me off for different reasons, but it was like, I think they said it was like a church burned. It was like a Catholic church burned to the ground.
Right.
But this brick, like, chimney / statuary of these saints carved in stone survived, and everybody in the comments and everybody was like, "Oh, amen, God, God is great." It's bricks and rock.
It's not.
Of course, it's gonna survive.
Much less flammable material.
Yeah. I'm like, that's gonna make it through.
Well, and I've seen a couple of those where people say, "See, this house was untouched," and then you go back and learn. Like there was one where the architect literally designed the house for this kind of thing, and he found out it worked. Because, now, granted, a lot of cosmetic damage, and, you know what I mean? But he had a home, and it was structurally sound and everything else. So, but he used concrete, and there was a whole lot of, I don't remember the details in the design, but it worked. So, I don't know. Find that guy and hire him to architect your new house, because clearly he knows what he's doing.
Yep. He's a living ad for his own work.
Right? Ta-da! Just take that, put that in a billboard. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to replay our interview we had, I believe it was last week. I think it was the 17th, if I remember correctly, whatever day that was, about 10 days ago. We had Amy McVeigh-Tejas and Jason Garcia for board president for the Historical Society for Southeast Mexico. Had a great little conversation with them. We're going to play that for you here this morning. Speaking of which, every Wednesday, they do their At the Pole event, 9 a.m. each Wednesday morning. Come out and pray at the flagpole there at the Historical Society. It's right there, actually almost smack dab in the middle of the J.P. White home and the archives facility there towards the street. But anyway, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. they meet, pray at the pole. It started about a year ago. And they just invite people to come out and do it. Now, they do it every Wednesday. However, due to
turn 6,
some other engagements, appointments, they can't have a formal one tomorrow.
Okay.
So there won't be a formal At the Pole event tomorrow.
But,
that being said, if you want to go out to the pole at 9 a.m. and pray, or just do whatever you want to do, ain't no one stopping you. Go on and do it. But there won't be a formal, event like it is normally every Wednesday. Just wanted to put it out there. So, but don't be discouraged if you want to go out there and pray and do your thing, or do it from your home or work, wherever you do it.
He's still listening. It's fine.
He got a good he's got a good voicemail.
the way I heard it posed was, and this was when we used to see you at the pole in high school.
Yeah.
The joke was, we all met around the pole because that's the antenna, and it helps the reception.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I just now, ever since Bruce Almighty, I just get like this email vision and all that. In my head, that's how movies,
I love that meme.
So much. I know I talked about defending your life earlier, but so much in my head too is that it's like I kind of wish I go there and like I can eat as much spaghetti as I want.
That is one of my favorite jokes in that whole movie.
Yeah.
Is the service that he uses.
Yeah.
It's called Yahweh. I always thought that was hysterical.
But just in my head, it's kind of neat, and if I have an attorney, I hope he is like Rip Torn. He seemed like a good dude.
Yeah. I would definitely want Rip to have my back.
Like that part of Rip, not he got caught sleeping in someone's house. Just Rip.
Yeah, not later in life, much creepier Rip Torn.
Yeah,
but,
the 80s Rip are in here. Beastmaster Rip Torn.
Yes.
He was very svelte in that one. You wouldn't want to see a lot of Rip Torn in a movie?
We mean a lot.
A lot of Rip Torn and Beastmaster.
In fact,
and a lot of Edward James, not Edward James almost. What's his name? John Amos.
Ah.
the dad from Good Times.
From Good Times, yeah.
The McDowells.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mr. McDowell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's in a loincloth that entire movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and he hangs out with a boy.
A whole lot of Amos.
And he hangs out with a teenage boy.
Well,
so
as one does.
It didn't seem that way at the time. Watch it with a current lens. You're like, maybe my kid should have been watching this movie.
Turns out Rip Torn actually got his name because of the costume he had to wear in Beastmaster. Yeah, it was all that was how he got the name. It was ripped, it was torn.
That's all right, fellas. Also in it is what's her name? It's not Ty Shire. What is her name? Who's that 70s show? The wife of the neighbor.
Oh, okay.
The wife of the neighbor in that 70s show.
Donna's mom.
Yes. That actress is in it as well.
It would be
Roberts?
Tanya
Roberts. Tanya Roberts. Thank you. She is also in it as well. Uh-huh. So she cancels out Amos's buttocks with herself.
Indeed.
And Mark Singer's in it too, which you probably don't know who he is, but he's the Beastmaster, and he's dreamy in that too. So
there you go. I feel like you've spent a whole lot of time with this cast, Mike.
I love this movie, man. I watched it so much as a kid.
I can imagine.
No, but not the way you think it is.
I don't know. It feels like you've caught a lot of John Amos.
I thought the Beastmaster was cool, man. When he stood on this like cliff in that movie, he stands. There's a scene where he climbs up like a mountain. He's on this cliff, like standing there with the whole world, and he's literally with a sword, just going. Swinging it back and forth like that ninja stuff.
Which, if you ever tried to swing a broadsword, that's not easy.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then he had like a little thing he could throw too. Because this movie also came around the time the movie Krull came out, which is about that little star thing that they threw that had but anyway, he had a version of that too. And so, and then the fact that he could talk to animals made it really cool because he literally has a posse of pets. He's got 2 ferrets. He's got a black panther. He's got a hawk. And they're like the hawk's his eyes. The 2 ferrets steal things for him. And the panther, well,
he's a panther. What's he for? He's a panther.
He's a panther.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Right. So I love that movie. It's one of those movies as a kid I watched over and over. And when we got cable, it was on a lot. And it was just one of those, but yes, you watch it in today's lens and you're like, ooh. I ain't gonna lie, the trees scared me. There was a tree that had these like acid people like hung in it like fruit. And they would come out and they had like these big, and they'd open like a Venus flytrap and then they'd eat you with acid and they just.
Fun.
Yeah. It was kind of nightmare fuel for my pea-brain kid.
That's terrifying.
But Beastmaster took care of it, so we're all right. It's 8:22. Let's just play our historical society video. All that started because there's not a formal event at the poll tomorrow. I don't know how that.
But if you want to go out and pray anyways, it's okay.
God bless Rip Torn.
God bless him.
It's 8:23. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll be in the upper 40s for the afternoon high today. Some clouds moving in ahead of a low-pressure system headed our way. We'll get a few showers overnight and some fog. We'll be in the mid-30s and then a few showers possible on Wednesday. We're expecting low 50s and we will have a little bit of sunshine. Clear for Wednesday night and then we're back to sunny skies on Thursday and Friday, 50s and 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 28 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 75%. Winds currently out of the north at 6 miles per hour. For today, partly cloudy. Expect a high right at 50 degrees. Winds will be out of the east at around 5 miles per hour. We are looking at a slight chance of rain after 11 p.m. this evening, mixing in with snow after 2 a.m. Could wake up and some patchy fog rolling in after 11 p.m. But mostly cloudy and overnight low of 34. So I guess that fog's going to keep it warm. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Our chance of precip tonight is at 20%. We are looking at a slight chance of rain and snow mix before 8 a.m. tomorrow. Then it just changing over to rain from about 8 to 11. Patchy fog before 9 a.m. as well. Otherwise mostly sunny for the day once all that happens. And a high of 53 with north winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of precip for tomorrow is also at 20%. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, overnight low of 27. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny, 56 for a high. Winds will be out of the west 5 to 10 early, 10 to 15 for Thursday afternoon. Those winds are blowing in warmer temperatures, believe it or not. That's a difference. Because on Friday, we're going to be up in the mid-60s, sunny, 64 for a high. Saturday, sunny and 67, and then mid-70s for Sunday, sunny and 76, sunny and 74 on Monday. So it's warming up after this little rain spell we may 20% chance of getting or not getting over the next 24 hours or so here. All right, 8:25, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to play our interview with Jason Garcia and Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society. Don't go away.
When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. Success starts here.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. Valentine's Day has been a time-honored tradition of expressing love and affection for the wonderful people in our lives. Why not honor them with the comfort and new smells of furniture from Glenn's? Leather, wood, and luxurious fabrics are beautiful reminders of how much they are loved for many years to come. Skip the roses and chocolates this year and give gifts that last. Come see us at Glenn's for Valentine's Day on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
How do you find a roofing contractor you can trust? You can randomly pick one, cross your fingers and hope for the best. Or maybe you can ask a psychic to predict who's trustworthy. Here's a better idea. Choose one who prefers using America's most trusted roofing brand, Owens Corning. And rest easy, because Owens Corning screens their contractors for reliability, professionalism, and customer service. Why take any chances? Owens Corning, trusted contractors, proven products. For an Owens Corning preferred contractor, visit owenscorning.com/roofing.
For a free estimate, give Do Right Roofing a call today. 575-623-2273.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, of course, we have board president Jason Garcia, and then, of course, Amy McVeigh-Tejas, the executive director as well. I had to use formal titles today since there was two of you here, and Jason's all, we gotta do this. So, good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Good. We're good.
Good deal. Well, new year. And Historical Society, you know what? We had a good year. You look at everything and you look at all we've done, and, we do things different because that's the world we live in today. But overall, we had a very, very busy year in many, many fronts, from scholarships to activities to upgrades, repairs, renovations, the whole kit and caboodle. it's been a busy but productive year for the historical.
It went really fast, and we were definitely busy, and it feels like so many positive things came out of 2024.
Yeah.
I agree. Got the greatest compliment this week from an accountant, so I'll leave out the name, that she stated, Amy, I don't know how in the world y'all do what you do, but you make numerous pennies out of that penny, and I'm so proud of you. That's a great compliment.
Absolutely.
We do what we do.
And I will tell this, because Amy's the one saying that. Amy's the big reason for much of that. Jason can attest to this. She's very meticulous about, it's almost like the grandma from like, turn the thermostat down, turn, every little, turn that light out, stop staring in the refrigerator.
Well, she keeps us all on track.
That's true.
She is very, you're a very good steward of those very married. And I'm telling you, like, they'll be like, hey, I don't want to go buy pens. We got the donation of pens, because we're trying to save money.
We're not going to buy pens. We're going to donate a pen. Use the pen.
We're just going to, we'll go to the chamber. We'll go to everyone gets free. We'll go to the bank. They give us free pens.
Fancy pens.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's literally, in the big things, that's not what happens. But when it comes to running the day to day and trying to, it's very skeletal.
It's amazing how efficient you can be when you have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
and you don't realize how much you could cut back.
Sure, you didn't spend time in the Navy.
Oh my God!
You kind of got a. I've lived on a boat mentality a little bit.
You don't need it.
My mother lived her life by little things mean a lot. No pun intended. Little things mean a lot.
Sure.
They can add up with expenses, but we can also do great impact.
Absolutely.
Even those little things.
Yeah, and that's what, and this is what we're joking and having fun and all here, but really, we do try to keep those kind of expenses down so the money can go to Sunday Fun Days, to making sure that the roof, those scholarships and all that stuff. And so when we have our amazing book fairs and we have these events or our heritage dinners or any of our drive-through events, every penny that we get donated to us and everyone that comes out and participates, we want to make sure that every dollar is going to support the Historical Society in one way, shape, or form, and by default, supporting the public, whether it's through kids and youth, through preservation of historical stuff, or somewhere in between.
I don't think people realize how much a 112-year-old building requires maintenance and just repairs.
And you can't just do it the regular way like you got. You can't just call a plumber and say, no, by the way, ours is historical. You got to fix it with keeping it in the theme of history. So you can't just, guess what? We can go and drop a state-of-the-art air conditioner system in here. No, you can't.
It doesn't work.
We'll just fix that with fiberglass. No, you can't.
That's right.
Well, that's right. And shout out to Fred Boggs. We give him a hard time. We joke with him. We eat ice cream with him. We give chocolate to him.
Yeah.
But
he does work for chocolate and ice cream. He's pretty cheap.
But at the end of the day, through that chocolate and through that ice cream, we're just kidding, Annette. He really doesn't eat that much. No, I'm just kidding.
He eats very healthy when he's with us.
He is there a lot. He is there a lot.
Oh, man.
And he's one of my best friends. And why is because he looks for the details.
Absolutely.
And the details matter.
And to be honest, this is kind of like the board. Like, I've been on this board for, I don't know how many years now, 4 or 5.
Might be dog years.
I have no idea.
Right? You can
I have no. People ask how long. You're like, I don't know. I don't.
It's been a spell.
Like COVID. It was pre-COVID. So anything pre-COVID, it was a long time ago. I don't know.
Right.
That's my new mark. It was before COVID. I don't know. But I will say this we have a great board. From president on and to our officers. I mean, it's a great job. And I'm not trying to blow smoke here, but everyone has their niche and everyone has their what you're good at. And so. Obviously, because of what I do, I'm good at promotions, and so I kind of stay in that vein. But, guys like you're talking about, like Mr. Ice Cream here, Mr. Boggs, Fred Boggs, his expertise is that detail, and he does have repair skills and stuff, so he can kind of tell when the contractors are giving him, legit stuff or blowing smoke. He's been a good steward to kind of protect us from those kinds of things.
Right.
And Jason, where
we don't know what I do.
Well, no, but here's the thing that, as president, unfortunately, what we deal with and things aren't always sunshine and rainbows. Wherever things happen, there's always someone trying to do something or get something in, or it's. Unfortunately, we live in a world where egos become a problem in certain circles. And be honest, Jason, that's your you're good at dealing with those kinds of things, and that's
appreciate
the reason why I think you're the guy in charge. And so that's what I mean about, it's like the people, we talk about Amy Miller. She's always been a numbers person. I mean, so she's always, you know what I mean? And so we have people that are really good at those areas, and we kind of say, hey, you're good at those. Let's keep you in your creamy, excellent area here, and let's do that. And that's why I think we have had the success. And we don't have, and here's the good thing too, despite these little things moments,
right?
We're the duck, man. We're the top of things going. I mean, underneath the water's a little crazy, but we keep it
Even
looking
keeled,
like the duck on the water here. And I'm proud to be a part of it, but more complimentary of everyone else in that room besides me that
everybody on the board does a good job, and we have a good team.
We're all equally so in our niche.
Yes.
And having fun. And Jason and I spoke about it a couple of times at the end of the year. This year, we want to continue to share light with others, but we just want to have fun.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something to be said when our board members show up.
Yeah.
And we're going to show up with a smile and have some fun.
Absolutely.
By doing what we do and impacting lives. But we can have fun.
But we also are at a time where maybe we would love to invite others to get involved. If you want to, I don't know about board yet. We may. This is that time of the year and stuff, but definitely we need volunteers in many capacities.
We do.
Whether you want to serve as a docent or something like that.
Yes.
Or even more behind the scenes. You want to get down and dirty in the archives and start cataloging and do it. We'd love to have you. We have lots of different roles, and whether you like dealing with people or don't like dealing with people, we got roles that can be very helpful to us as a society.
You know what I love is that many of the people that first started out kind of like Fred, that really project himself to be a behind-the-scenes man of my people, OMG, now he's people.
Yeah. So if you're looking to get out of your shell a little bit, maybe serving with us on the historical side.
He does a darn good job of doing the tours, and he likes to, guide people through. And
absolutely.
What I love is we give the opportunity for people to thrive in their zone, but we don't ever want to just stay where we are.
Well, as humans,
we send them over in other areas before you know it, they're having fun doing all
and
that.
we're in the business of making people better too, because that's why we do the scholarships and everything else, and and we see. And to be honest, the real win for all of us, and I know for Amy and Jason, is it's the day where you guys get to call them up and show up and hand them the checks and do all that. But it's when 5 years later, these people come through the doors and they say, "Hey, just this since I've talked to you, I'm now a doctor. I'm now or whatever." They're just going
Amy
on
receives updates on scholarship awardees from years
just
past.
Yesterday, guys.
There you go.
I got just yesterday.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Amy, thank you so much. Words cannot explain how grateful I am, and this will absolutely help me out a lot. That's from Shoshani Martinez, when New Mexico Youth Challenge, and I believe she's in grants. That's just one. The eyes light up, make me happy. Now we have this extended family. One of our first scholarships at Fort Sumner is a parent with 2 children and a doctor. And I was like, oh my gosh, we are like really grandparents now. And we're getting the Case and Joneses of the world that are graduating from Mexico Tech and getting married. So these kids are sharing their joys with us.
And the Historical Society in Roswell, New Mexico is just a little piece in their pie of what is that.
And the good and the bad. And we want these kids to know they're imperfect just like we are. And through the good and the bad. And that's something else I was reminding them of. They said, oh, I don't want to call you. I don't want you to know. No, we want to know everything. We're here.
This is when we talk about mission statements and the goal, and people say, why do you do these things? And because you got to remember, history is everything. Historical history is the study of us.
Right.
Everything we do, whether it's what you're doing on your Facebook page or what George Washington did in 1776. All of the above is part of that.
Well, it's true. No, that is true. That is
true. So people that say they don't like history or don't, and so everything is history.
Everything.
And part of it is, and that's what, with these kids and through the scholarships. Now, granted, there's always history angles on this. Why, every kid that it's awarded a scholarship, they earned it. It is a dogfight. I've heard the conversations. I've heard the stuff.
If you've read the essays and watched the videos, it's fascinating.
And so it's really, yes, but we're also forcing some of these youth to take a look at history, take a look at what's their backyard, and how do you think about that? And that's what we base our decisions on scholarships is how they're handling and how they're doing. So So to tell, is it part of history? You bet it. You bet your butt it is, because we're A, creating it, but B, also fostering it for these generations that are now going to be the next leaders in our community. What's your foundation? We're hoping to kind of strengthen that a little bit.
Another example, through the good and the bad, on the phone just the other day with Caroline Brooks, and through the good and the bad and the struggles, we're still family. Her and I we're already talking about, what does Museum Day look like in 2025? We don't know, but there will be one, and we'll enjoy every bit of it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we've had what,
You know,
two very successful ones, so it's got to get bigger.
Oh, they're super well received.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun, and hopefully when the next one is, all the museums will be up and running. I know, like Walker Aviation, they're still dealing with some flooding issues and things like that.
Things,
so.
but you know what I love is we're all going to arm in arm
Yeah.
do it. It may look different, but you know the thing I was just explaining to a lady yesterday. She was wondering why we didn't do every single thing the way we used to do things. And, you know, even Caroline and I were talking about it. You know, something good will come. We refuse to not, you know, through the struggle.
If you show me a person that does every single thing the same way they've done it for the last 20 years, I'm going to show you a person that's behind the 8 ball on a whole lot of stuff.
Well, we got they're doing everything the same. There's some exceptions.
And if they're doing it the same way, they're probably not moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying.
that's
It's like
part of
it's like you
excellence,
gotta
right?
find that. Yes, as far as the big picture, you want it in the same direction, but how you get there, sometimes you got to move to the left, sometimes you got to move to the right. You know, that's just life.
You know, my husband's a counselor, and that's what I love about education.
Yeah.
They're evolving, they're improving.
Yeah.
Even with Jason, that's what we see, that
Sure.
greatness isn't flatline
Well,
kind of
and the
mentality.
challenges and the problems always change. You know, I mean, yes, at the end of the day, we're trying to get the best for everybody, but the hurdles that present the obstacles that present that from happening are different every time, and sometimes it's, you know, society based, sometimes it's technology based, sometimes it's the cocktail, all the above. I mean, it's just the world evolves.
It does.
There's nothing that. I mean, we're in this age of digital.
Yep.
You buy an iPhone 27 or whatever they're up to now.
Right.
Next week, they already got the iPhone 37 out. That's just the world we live in nowadays. It's just, that's it. And if you're not keeping up and doing it, then you're falling back.
Right. Talking about keeping up, we have a lot going on, Mike.
I'm about to say, yeah, we need to keep up with all that. Let's
Well,
do that.
Well, it is membership time if you're a member of the Historical Society.
Reminds me, I
You
got to
want-
cut you a check,
Yeah.
don't I?
hey. On that note, show us the money, Mike. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'll see you on Monday, so I'll bring it with Tuesday. I'm sorry, I'll bring it with me
But,
Tuesday.
it's membership time, membership renewal. If you need more information, call 622-8333. From $30 up to $1,000,
Yeah.
and consider gifting one. If you renew for yourself, consider gifting and renewing one.
Absolutely.
Kind of a pay it forward
And we have
thing.
different levels and everything that you can do as an individual,
silver,
as a
gold, platinum.
couple, as a corporate business
Right.
or organization.
Platinum
all the above.
business, $150. That's for family or business.
Yeah, we're pretty inexpensive.
We are. Oh, I
Not
think
cheap, but inexpensive.
That's right, because we're valuable. So
It's
we're-
quality.
That's right. Quality matters.
But you don't understand, that does move the needle for keeping everything going.
Oh, yeah.
Those membership dollars, they help pay for when the roof leaks, when the foundation starts crumbling a little bit. We got.
I've learned more about tile roofs than I've ever thought I'd.
Oh, yeah. And we have show and tell because we were cleaning out. Huge shout out to New Mexico Youth Challenge when they were helping us clean out everything.
Yeah.
We've got our samples, the sample of the approval, and all that. Yes, we
Yeah.
still have that,
Yeah.
man. And we never stop learning. That's a learning curve.
Well, that's the cool. But so your dollars do help that way, and
Oh,
of course,
gosh, yes.
with your membership, you get newsletters, you stay up to date and stuff. And but if you want to get more involved, we'd love to have you. But as a start, becoming a member is a great way to support this.
Somebody just told me last week, Amy, I had no idea y'all had memberships and you got newsletters.
Yeah.
So we've said it, we'll say it again. We rely on memberships and
Mhm.
donations.
That is our bread and butter.
That is
Yes.
where our newsletters go. So our newsletters are mailed out to individuals that
Mhm.
are members of the society. We have lifetime members of the society.
Mhm.
We have members that have been members way before I've been around,
Sure.
type thing. So that is how you become a member, and you can get more information by calling the museum at 622-8333 or going to our website at roswellhistory.org.
Yeah. A couple other ways to support. Want to mention this, especially since things like the convention center are no longer available for the foreseeable future and things. Now we don't have that kind of facility, but Our archives facility can host a meeting of about 75 people, I think is what the fire marshal.
50 to 100.
That's when he'll get mad at that point. Of course, there's a new one. We have to grease the wheels. Just kidding. Matt kind of looked. No, just kidding. Just joking. No. But Matt's been a big part of the historical society.
Yes,
so all joking aside about that. But we have a nice facility. It's got a full, not commercial grade kitchen, but like your home kitchen. It's got a stove, fridge, and all that.
Chairs.
And we could. It's got a building capacity about 75. We got a big enough table. You could easily put 40, 50 people in there for a meal if you need to. But anyway, if that is that's available as a rental, we offer rates. Of course, if you have business meeting or a small wedding reception and that's another thing. Here in about 2 months, when the green thing starts happening again, you're going to want to pay attention to the historical society once the garden clubs get out there doing their magic and the things start turning green again. All I'm saying is we're a very, very nice place to do pictures if you want to do weddings and things like that. We love to offer that up for folks like that. That's a great way to support the historical society. We always do tours. We don't have set hours, but if you call us and make an appointment, a reservation, we'll be happy to do that stuff for you.
Recently, it's been more in the morning for whatever reason.
Has that been kind of the...
We're wanting mornings, and even kind of early mornings, and we're fine.
Yeah.
Robin's an early morning person.
Good.
So we're liking that. But I think, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you're listening, this 1 to 4, 2 to 4 type of thing is really not fitting with a lot of our travelers.
Right.
That's kind of their prime time to go to some of the other places that are only open. We are really seeing morning, even later afternoon, and we're willing to accommodate the needs of the people and not mandate they adjust to our schedule. We are open.
Yeah, you call us and say, hey, I got family in town on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Can I bring them by for an hour? Yes, you can. Come on, do that. That would be happy to do that. And we love to do that. And I'm going to tell you, you're getting a better product, or because you get a private store. Those private
gosh,
you're getting a better product.
Spend a couple of hours. Yeah. We had the ladies with an appointment, 30 minutes turned into 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, we're gonna be back next week.
Yeah.
And then what we're loving is Fred gives such a different tour than Melanie or Robin. We're having fun because they'll say, "Can we come back for a different tour?" Because I'm not saying
demand your docent.
Because Fred's talking about this, and Robin's talking about
this. It's almost
like
a wrestling match. Pick your docent. There you go. Fred Boggs. Bring him home.
See you at the pole. We had a couple of us, a lot of individuals were praying from the home. It was a little bit chilly. See you at the pole next Wednesday, January the 22nd, 9 o'clock.
We're back on yesterday, kind of got back to our normal schedule again after the Christmas holiday here. But every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, come meet us out at the flagpole in front of the archives facility. That's the meet us at the pole part. Right.
And whether there's 4, 50, or 100, we're going to be there.
And there's no particular reason, need, or whatever. Pray for whatever you want. That's
for sure.
It kind of started over, the floods, the fires, everything is going on.
National Day of Prayer. And then see you at the pole, and then it's really you're right.
But it's gonna, we had Southeast Mexico had a rough year in 2024. We had a lot of, from flooding to fires to all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot to pray for, and so it kind of spawned from just that.
Right.
And now it's just a staple that we do every Wednesday. If you can come every Wednesday, amazing. If you can come some Wednesdays, great. If you just, I will do it in spirit, and I will do it wherever I'm at 9 o'clock that day. Awesome too. But we'd love to invite you. Come on down, and who knows? Maybe if you come with a thermos of coffee or something, you might get more popular than you realize. Sometimes somebody, that guy's got a thermos of coffee.
Okay, see, that's a good idea. See, I'm behind the ball. See, maybe if I was offering hot chocolate, more people would show up. That's a good idea.
That's just it. She gives away everything. That's what I'm saying. You come and make friends and bring a thermos.
There you go.
Well, it's cool that some of the schools bring their students. And so we have young folks of all ages, all the
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. We've had students from All Saints. We've had Youth Challenger. Exactly.
The new intermediate prep academy.
We've given tours.
I love when families incorporate their young children into these things to kind of show them the way.
Gosh, yes. Oh yes. Oh gosh, yes.
That's so important to teach and that's really what the historical side is about. At the end of the day. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're just prepping the next generation for what they've got to deal with.
That's true.
That's really all we're doing. That's what people in schools are doing, in your church, we're all getting that next generation ready for whatever challenges we're facing. And if you kind of look at that, the big picture, then you understand why coming out of the poll on Wednesday is an important thing.
Speaking of the future, I've never said this name on the radio. It's important to me. So 2024 New Mexico Youth Challenge Scholarships had an amazing group, 80-something. We had to have the event at Roswell High School because it would have been a convention center.
Outgrowing is a good thing.
I'm going to say this name because she's as shy and as special as they come. And from the director of TINA, I don't hesitate to mention this. One of the greatest students, silent, but amazing, is Cherokee Rose Cordell, $1,000 scholarship recipient, very special
That's
young
a beautiful
woman.
name. Like that's a showbiz name right there.
She was out at Youth Challenge just the other day getting ready for the next group. Lift Youth Challenge up in your prayers. They'll receive students this Sunday.
Awesome.
Special young woman, still after graduating, out there doing great
I can
things.
picture her name on a book. Like, can
Man,
she
I'm
write?
telling
Like I feel
you.
like that's just,
And Mike, she's a shy one. She steps away from me because we all know I'm a little bit a lot to take in.
Amy
But she's-
is a lot of things, but shy is not one of them.
So I'm determined to sit down with her. She's
Sure.
one that's really quiet. I'm
Sure.
going to sit down with her.
You're gonna crack that
so
nut,
Cherokee,
aren't
if
you?
you're listening, I'm coming. We're going to have
You're
lunch.
gonna you're gonna break that. You're gonna crack that nut and figure out what's going on in there.
She
But-
didn't know. Scholarships. Jason and I both serve on that committee. It's about that time. We have not submitted the information. Our intention is to offer those. Should be out January 31st.
Yeah, give us a
February
couple
1st.
weeks here. Yeah.
You're gonna. So we have had a lot of emails about this. If you have a high school senior or a college student, we will be submitting information around January the 31st. You'll need to go directly to the website, roswellhistory.org. No exceptions. There will not be paper applications. Travis Ackerman heads up our committee.
We're doing it all digital.
All Google Docs. Very exciting stuff. A lot of scholarships. So look for on our social media.
And there's reasons for doing it that way. And I get people say, why can't you do it? Well, at the end of the day, it's a scholarship. And part of the process is following directions.
That's right.
So,
but we know for
that's what-
sure we'll have humanities and art scholarship, STEM, character, and continuing education.
Sure.
One scholarship for any individual in trade school or college.
Absolutely. But please be on the lookout, and certainly when that starts hitting the website and all that, we'll be the first to let folks know that it's there. But in the meantime, you can check out the website, roswellnmhistory.org, and see everything else. If you want to do a little shopping, if you want to do just a little
Her
bit,
prints,
yeah, get her books. If you're maybe you got a few John's books or Donna's books, and you're looking to get a few more now that you read those, come to our website and you'll find them all there. And if I always, because I like to support those folks, also have Amazon pages, and that's how they really get money.
It's true.
But they are both very kind enough to do it through us. So maybe buy some of your books through us, but don't hesitate to go to their Amazon page and
that's
buy
right.
a book or two.
I-
That way, support them
We don't
more.
have everything.
We don't, but
Yeah.
I have to avoid our bookstore because I hardly walk out without one.
He's like, he keeps looking.
Yeah, so I would say maybe buy some of your books through us, but support them directly by going to their Amazon
Hey,
and
if you
buying
don't
them that
want
way
to buy
too.
every book, some of our volunteers, they put their bookmarks, they start reading our book. And so, and Melanie,
Ooh.
if you're listening, so Melanie finished the book, and I was one to pull the bookmark
If someone
out.
wants to be diabolical,
She was, yes, she was reading the George W. Littlefield book, and she would put her little marker in there. Hey, if you're a happy eater, because Mike, I know you're a happy eater.
I
Mike's
am.
a happy eater.
I love me
we
some
just
food.
booked, shout out to Amber
Oh,
at
that's right.
Texas
Texas Roadhouse night.
Amber, we love you. We appreciate what you do. She helps make this possible, and everybody at Texas Rosa.
Yep.
Our dates are, so far, for this quarter, we're going to I think we're going to try every other month.
Okay.
February the 11th.
So it'll be our
Tuesday.
next one here in
And so do your Valentine's.
about 3 weeks or
do
so,
your
yeah.
Tuesday Valentine's.
Yeah, an early Valentine. The 14th
Yes.
is going to be nuts anyway. Come on the
That's
11th.
right.
Yeah.
Tuesday, February 11th, 3 to 10. You will need to show this, and we'll post it. And then the next one, mark your calendars, Tuesday, April the 15th. Which
tax day.
That's a fun day, because she's like, do you want to do that? I'm like, yes. You know, hey, it'd make you feel better. If you took a hit.
You know what?
just
Depending
go.
on that day, maybe a good steak is what you need at the end of that
That's
day.
true. That is true. Every penny counts. As you can see, we're getting ready for a newsletter. If somebody says we're not doing things, we don't have a lot of stuff on. Y'all can see the papers. We're collecting loose change.
That's
so
always
if
a
you're
constant,
cleaning
yeah.
after Christmas, clean out the vehicle. Call us. We'll even pick it up. We're collecting loose change.
Yep.
Next
You get new couches, go through the old ones first.
Yes. Listen in next Friday. John LeMay and
Yeah.
Jacob Hardwick. He's a student at Roswell High School. He
Yeah.
has been a big part of our family, doing a lot of things, including including helping John write a 2-page article for our newsletter on the floods.
I think is it 9:15 this time next week?
He is so excited.
Joe, 9:15 next Friday. We'll have John and Jacob on here, and of course,
great thing, doing a lot. He's a hard worker.
Again, another person that serves on our board does like John LeMay. He's kind of and he's our history guy. He's the guy that runs the archives. Between him and Elaine, they kind of keep a tight ship there to this stuff. And so again, back to the credit to our volunteers and people that keep going. We look at everyone in that boardroom, and I'd hate to see what the historical side would look like if we didn't have those people in the room. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have one. It'd be the way of the dodo.
Working board, and everybody's working.
Yeah.
What a concept.
Yeah, it is, and I will say this because I don't want to. I've served. I've been on a lot of boards. I do a lot of this kind of stuff. The historical one is society one is one of the. Not easy's not the right word. More enjoyable ones of the bunch. Ones where I'm like, I feel like we're getting. Some other days I'm like, I'm spinning my wheels in this room, but this one I don't get those feelings. And so that is a tribute to every single person in that room, and yourself, and the people before us, the Elmas Flemings and all those folks that were doing this.
Jane.
Oh gosh, yes.
We had Bill Williams, his wife,
Jane.
before
Miss
you.
Tina.
These folks are the reason we are doing well today.
Oh goodness, yes. And it is not about me. It's always about we. We all believe that. It's all about that. I have to give a shout out. This is my son's birthday.
Oh right.
He's having a good time, but a shout out to Bryce, and he gets Bryce Mitchell Davis. He's 28 today, so happy birthday.
He's a radio critic too.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And
well, happy birthday, Bryce.
Well, and we've always celebrated Arthur Luther. He always used to say Arthur Luther instead of Martin Luther King because he didn't have to go to school. See?
That's true. Well, Monday's kind of we got Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Inauguration Day. There's a lot going on
National
Monday.
Championship Day. Shout out to Carol Cunningham. And yes, she'll want us to give a shout out to the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
She's our only board member that survived the college football bracket. Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Although I love that they did this tournament thing now, more like a bracket and everything else.
Yes.
It does make the bowl season much more
enjoyable. So the Matt and
enjoyable.
Carol are representing for the Historical Society.
That's right. Go Commanders.
There you go. See, if you have any questions, Historical Society Museum number 622-8333.
Yep.
Archive number 622-1176. RoswellNMHistory.org or History Director.
And then, of course, Historical Society for Southeast Mexico also has a Facebook page. We invite you to like and follow that, too. And that way is a great way to share and stay up to date. Like, if you need your reminders at Wednesday, 9 o'clock, we usually put the reminders up a day or two early. Don't forget, Wednesday at the poll, So use it as your own personal calendar.
So shout out to Danielle Gonzalez.
Yes.
She makes us look good. And she is definitely one of those behind-the-scenes women that may not be on our board anymore.
Yeah,
but she's clearly doing more off the board than she ever. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
she's the behind-the-scenes.
Well, she's a hustler in life. Whereas what she does for the Historical Society, she also does for her own family and her own personal life. With her being a business owner and being she's a go-getter, and we're so appreciative that she uses her skills to help us too.
And honoring the Gonzalez legacy. One thing I want to mention, we haven't mentioned our video. If you're at home, watch our video. Just go to YouTube, put in Historical Society for Southeast Mexico. Great 20-minute video on the history of Roswell. Share. A lot of people coming with air races coming. The more we share that video, we'll get a little bit of a glimpse of what Roswell has.
Roswell has a lot
so
of history.
much more.
Absolutely.
Right, so much more.
I mean, it's literally, we always say it, come for the aliens and stay for the rest.
Yes.
It's like you don't realize how the depth of the history that is Roswell, New Mexico, from military to people to aliens and to everything in between, to the farming and ranch. I mean, dairy industry. I mean, you don't realize how many things that are globally impacted that come out of Roswell, New Mexico.
It's cool to add one more facet to our history with the air races.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm excited to see that.
Is.
I kind of been hearing, I don't know about y'all, but they've been flying around and stuff.
Yes.
And if you take a listen, you can kind of hear them whipping around out there.
You sure? It was when I was at U Challenge. We had Desi and I, but we came early and we stayed a little bit later.
Yeah, you could see them out there going through their paces.
I was literally working, sending emails and listening, and got to see something.
Yeah.
We will be establishing our own army of volunteers. We're going to need an army of volunteers on behalf of the society. So please, we are really going to show up morning, noon, and night have that museum booming.
It'll be a busy.
It will. So please, if you used to be a docent and you're volunteering,
reach out.
Yes. And
I would even say we're going to get like a pre-dress rehearsal here in May.
Yes.
Because like what? To give you a little timeline.
Yes.
What's going on right now is they're kind of finalizing the course. So the guys are out there kind of finalizing. They're flying and trying to. In May, every single pilot needs to come and get certified on that course.
Yep. Right.
It's an unusual thing because now that they moved, usually they do this, like the new pilots come, they got to get certified. The guys have been flying it for years, not so much. But since this is new territory for everyone, we're basically going to have the entire pilot and everybody here in May for that.
Hey, and ladies and their wives.
And their wives.
So we need volunteers because those amazing pilots have wives and families.
They're going to be scoping out Roswell in May, finding their stuff for September.
They need something to do.
So,
that's exactly right.
And then September is going to be the big show.
There you go.
But May is kind of our dress rehearsal here a little bit. So.
Call the museum, 622-8333. We'd love to have help, volunteers, couples, families. We're going to have a lot of fun and enjoy every minute of this history making.
Absolutely. And be on the lookout for scholarship information and all that stuff here in the next few weeks here as well. And please reach out if you want to get involved. We'd love to have you. Or if you need the archives facility for your own personal events or things. And by the way, membership, the higher the levels, you get perks that kind of, we can kind of say, we can get that for you.
Yes. Fourth grade school tours coming up. I didn't mention that. Fourth grade school tours coming up in March. If you have been a volunteer, want to be involved with that, a business, and want to add to the blessings of the backpacks, we've already submitted something to get approved, but any way we can impact the lives, we are all in.
Absolutely.
Fourth grade school tours.
And be on the list because usually we need donations for like paper towels and things to make the butters and all that
hand
good stuff.
sanitizer and toilet paper.
So much cleaning.
We're going to keep it clean.
That's right.
So call the museum for more information.
Absolutely.
Love to have everybody and anybody be a part of that wonderful occasion.
Yeah, and we are hoping and determined to make 2025 even bigger and brighter than 2024.
So the dust does
it
not
will be.
settle.
Yep.
Yes,
That's right.
First time in my life that I've ever had to be kind of embarrassed on what I'm selling eggs for, and it's not our fault. We're paying today $7.45 for a dozen eggs. We're selling for $7.59. We're making 14 cents.
Customer Sage Mills had to buy eggs to make a birthday cake.
It's really expensive.
The Agriculture Department predicts egg prices are going to soar another 20% this year. I'm Julie Walker.
Scott Bessent, America's new Treasury Secretary, confirmed by the Senate on a 68-29 vote. On Wall Street this morning, stocks in positive territory. The Dow's up 255 points. The Nasdaq ahead 238. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians returning to war-ravaged northern Gaza. They're going back to see what, if anything, is left of their homes after 15 months of war between Israel and Hamas. As the Chinese New Year dawns, a traditional holiday delicacy seems to be losing its appeal, at least in some quarters.
As Hong Kong prepares to welcome the Year of the Snake, a snake-related food is slithering away. Chow Kei Ling is known as the Snake Queen, one of the last keepers of Hong Kong's snake soup industry. She says a bowl of delicious snake soup should be made up of a good quality soup base, and the snake meat needs to be tender and not tough. Researcher Felix Facebook's Landry Yuan says snake soup shops in Hong Kong are getting harder to find.
SARS and COVID came up as one main reason, but then, there's a variety of other reasons.
The texture of snake meat after cooking is similar to chicken. I'm Ed Donahue.
News and analysis at townhall.com. Florida holding 2 special election primaries to replace President Trump's national security advisor Mike Waltz in the 6th Congressional District and former Representative Matt Gaetz in the 1st Congressional District.
The winners of each primary will likely go on to win in the special general elections, which are slated for April 1st. President Trump has endorsed Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Patronis and State Senator Randy Fine, who are both considered favorites in the 6th and 1st districts, respectively. Gates' resignation from Congress and Waltz's appointment to the Trump administration helped bring Speaker Mike Johnson's already slim majority down to 218 Republicans to 215 Democrats. And with Trump's UN ambassador pick Elise Stefanik expected to be confirmed, that majority would drop down to 217. Bernie Bennett reporting.
President Trump says Microsoft among U.S. companies looking to take over China's owned TikTok that could enable the popular app to avoid an effective ban in the U.S. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to our number 3.
Trace in Viernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Indubitably.
It is here. It is Tuesday, and welcome to it.
Yeah.
So February 2nd is Sunday, right? Oh, because I think the 1st is. Oh, did I? Oh, I turned your headphones down. Sorry.
Oh, that's what it is. Like, are we on the air?
Well, I was trying to listen to something, and the headphones were very loud, and I couldn't hear what they were saying. So, but I think Sunday is February 2nd, right?
Yes, I believe
Which
so.
is Groundhog Day. Which is on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like Groundhog Day shouldn't be on a weekend.
Well, it's fallen on Sunday before.
I know. I feel like part of the routine is waking up and there's Tony Phil on the news and they're telling us.
Well, yeah. And now you get a chance to enjoy it from the comfort of your own home.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like.
Plus, it happens stupid early.
Yeah, it does. Well,
it's like when we see it, it's like, it's like 4:30 in the morning our time that Punxsutawney Phil is actually getting up to any business.
I've heard tell that prior to the movie, they had some of that, but it wasn't all of that.
Sure.
Like the movie almost made them do more.
Well, yeah. I mean,
now it
put them on the map.
Yeah.
Because I know Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania was kind of a tourist destination before that. That's the whole reason they did the movie. But, but at the same time, it definitely put a cinematic level of.
Oh, yeah. Now you got the movie files.
I will argue that the speech that is now traditionally given every year, I, the mayor of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, do certify that Punxsutawney Phil, that prognosticator of prognosticators, did in fact see. Yeah, I reckon that speech probably didn't exist before the movie, or at least it was greatly dramatized.
It's been embellished and enhanced since then, too. In my head, I've never been to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Right.
Never been there. I've been at lots of places in Pennsylvania. Punxsutawney is not one of those places. But in my head, I want to imagine like they go to the point where, I hope anyway, like I want to go to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and there's a Ned Ryerson that steps in a manhole or pothole, and
did they have it just that mapped out?
Ned Ryerson?
Ned Ryerson? Yeah.
Like, where's the gravel pit? Where's the beaver? You know, I wanna, you know, where'd he sing to Madeline McDowell there, or whatever her name was? Learn the piano.
It would definitely be interesting to visit Punxsutawney.
Like, I wonder if any of that's there. Like, can you go to that cafe?
Probably the cafe's there.
Yeah,
I would imagine that's there if nothing else.
But that's my question too: is any of that actually in Punxsutawney, or did they just film the Groundhogs Day
How many
stuff?
local radio show stations do you think begin their broadcast day with "I Got You, Babe"?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You know, like for instance, like for Sopranos fans, that deli at the end of Sopranos. Spoiler alert, where it fades to black. If you haven't seen how that show ends, spoiler, you only had 20 years to find it.
Mid-song fade to
kind of
black.
alienate everybody and all that, which I agree was a soft ending. But anyway, that booth is like uber famous at that deli there, and they've got the picture of Soprano, and you
the
get
same
the
thing
table.
with if you go to New York and go to Katz's, they actually have the booth
Harry
from
Met
where
Sally.
Harry Met Sally, yeah.
Well, of course, that thing it was uber. Even though, and that's still a thing, right? Like even though that movie hasn't been relevant in 40 years.
Oh yeah,
or 30
but
years.
it's most definitely still people go to every day, every year to get to Katz's.
And then it always spawns every time that conversation comes up, it always spawns the same question, like, "Where's Meg Ryan? I haven't seen her in a minute."
That's true. My question is, I wonder how many times people have just recreated the scene.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like how inappropriate is lunch when you're sitting there just trying to enjoy soup and a sandwich, and then like 13 people in a row are coming in and making ungodly noises.
Well, and they still mock it in commercials and everything.
Yeah.
Like I just saw one just the other day for one of the games that Drew Barrymore is involved with, and she mocked that whole.
Really?
Yes, yeah, she did that.
Did you? It's funny. People don't really make the connection or correlation, but Herbal Essences back in the 90s.
Oh yeah, I remember
that
those.
was their entire ad campaign, and they totally got away with it.
Yes. Yeah, you put the $2 shampoo.
They even
in your
had
hair.
the lady walking by in the original one going, "I'll have what she's having."
Yeah, I remember Herbalist. Is that still a thing?
It's still a shampoo, absolutely. But nowadays, it's one of those things.
I haven't bought shampoo in a while.
It's one of those things where it's like going, "What's up?" It's like if you start rubbing your hair and going, "Yes, yeah," you're gonna get some weird looks from some teens. That's all I'm saying. It's real cringe, as the kids say.
Yeah, Herbalist. I remember that convinced me for a minute.
Oh,
Why do you think every teenage boy wore Axe body spray? That marketing was genius.
In fairness, they guerrilla marketed me on Axe.
Yeah.
Because Axe body spray started becoming, I mean, I'm sure it was a thing before, but it really started coming into the public like zeitgeist when I was a freshman in college.
Yeah.
And when I went to orientation, they give you these, it's like a goodie bag, whatever, orientation bag. And it's just got, information, a toothbrush and toothpaste, and a little can of Axe Phoenix scented, the Phoenix one, the blue one. I remember
the blue
that.
one, yeah.
And that was the scent of Sean for 2002 going into 2003 was Axe Phoenix. Because I found the can and they had a ton of these orientation packs left over. So I just went and snagged a bunch of them.
Right.
And so I just had like a year's supply of Axe body spray. So that's what got me. It was really a guerrilla marketing thing.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also a license for many dudes to stop showering.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, but it also became.
Now you smell like butt and Axe.
Exactly. It became the trademark for you were just doing some smelly stuff, weren't you?
Right. It's kind of like smelling the match in the bathroom. You know what you're up to.
Right. That's very effective, by the way.
It is.
Not enough people use the match in the bathroom technique.
Yeah, forget the potpourri. Just put the old school book of match, like the one you get from the liquor store.
Yep.
If you can still, do they still have those?
I don't know. I'm sure you can buy books of matches.
It's ones that bought cigarettes and things. Like, can you walk into Allsups and get matches with cigarettes nowadays? Is that still a thing? I don't even know.
I don't know. I have
that
no
was
idea.
standard fare. Give me a
they
book
would
of
ask
match.
you, "Do you need matches?"
Yeah, I have no idea.
No.
Is that still a thing?
I do know for a fact that
I feel like it should be, but maybe it
Bugler
isn't.
is definitely still a thing. Like I still see people, rolling out, breaking out their packs of Bugler.
Oh,
rolling their own.
That's weed. But
no, I'm talking about, like tobacco.
Yeah, I know. That's the guys. They do it once to meet women, and then they're actually doing it with weed. Every person I've known in my life that's rolled cigarettes are the same dude.
I still to this day
same dude.
Cannot. I do not have the nimble fingers.
The same dude every time. Because I remember a couple people back in the 90s back there, and no, I roll my own cigarettes. Like,
my father-in-law could do it blindfolded underwater.
Yeah.
That man was like, he was a genius with it.
They ain't learned rolling cigarettes. That's all I'm saying. But anyway.
A real prison technique. But
like, to be honest, if that's what you wanted, just buy Pall Malls or the non-filtered Pall Malls or the.
Well, most of the time it's that Bugler is $2 cheaper than any
That's
pack,
true.
so.
You get a bag of tobacco and your own papers, and I guess and the one guy knew that was his thing. But I'm like, yeah, but now you got to plan your day to make these things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, jeez. What you doing between I'm rolling cigarettes?
What was I going to be doing? Banking?
Yeah.
I mean, I might as well fill my spare time.
It's cool that you can get one of those metal cases to put in your breast pocket to pull out and, do all that nonsense. But,
dude, I got to tell you, I went to a place, like, I'm not a big cigar guy, but I went to it was essentially like, we'll call it, just for the sake of the FCC, an enhanced cigar bar.
Okay.
And it's called the Monster House. It's up in Ruidoso. It's just a very chill place, nice chairs and really, ornate stuff on the walls. They had this ashtray, and the ashtray was like a silver bowl for the tray, and it had these two spots for what would be cigars.
Okay.
But it also had this like chrome bulldog, and we figured out it was the Mack truck bulldog.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, like you see on the dump trucks or whatever.
What I figured out, though, through the course of just sitting in this chair was it is the most comfortable thing in the world to just kick back in this chair and rest one hand on the head of the bulldog, to the point where I walked up to the bartender and asked him how much for the ashtray. I would like to purchase your ashtray, sir. I'm not a smoker. I just wanted to sit there with my hand on it because you feel baller.
Yeah.
I was sitting there like, yeah, I want to make decisions now. Like, to the point where I was like, maybe I'll start smoking cigars just so I can have that feeling of one sitting in my hand, smoke rising up while I'm resting my hand on the bulldog. It felt very baller. There was
my guest here?
No.
Doesn't look like it.
Those are sales.
Speaking of that kind of ashtray, one of when I was in the Air Force, I had my dorm barrack.
Yeah.
And so I had my own room, which was about the size of this room. I had a room that was about the size of this room to live.
That's a pretty good sized room.
Yeah, and it was my room.
Yeah.
I had a bathroom that I shared with one other person who had a room just like me.
Okay.
So we had it's called your suite mate.
Mhm.
And so you take turns clean the bathroom. That was your person. I had a real nice guy, firefighter. He was a real cool dude. For most of my time, he was there about 2/3 of the time I was there. Anyway, nice guy. Anyway, but I was in a phase of my life there where I wanted to buy the ugliest, goofiest furnitures and things to have in my home. In my, the bed was the bed, the thing.
Right.
But I bought a love seat from circa 1972 that had the wood that wasn't even that comfortable. It had the velour, that fake velour.
The flower pattern?
No, this one was water houses. Those houses with the wood water wheel.
With the water wheel?
And all those all over.
Nice.
And I had things but one of those things I procured was one of those old school barber shop ashtrays.
Oh,
the stand
one
with the thing and
the handle on top.
A lot of metal and glass.
I know exactly the one you're talking about.
And I had that.
Okay.
Now, it looked cool, but pull back the curtain. I was a dude that it made the whole room stink because it was a room this big, and I literally had 8,000 butts in that thing because I'd empty it. When you have a big ashtray, you don't empty it as often.
When you can't fit butts in it anymore, that's when you empty the ashtray.
And so there would be times, where I'd be off work, and I worked midnight, so I had weird hours and things. So I'd be on the computer, and this was the era of chat rooms and all that.
Yeah.
So I'd literally be chain smoking in these chat rooms.
ASL?
Oh, yeah. And so my dorm room smelled literally like a liquor store or a old pool hall. But then I had to clean it up for inspection, which you don't realize how much Carpet Fresh I bought as an airman. That sprinkle stuff, and then I go
exactly what you're talking
and
about.
then I go steal the vacuum cleaner from the break room, and then I go in there and so by the day inspection come, I smelled like my room smelled like that Carpet Fresh times 10. Like, because you know what? If you have a room this size and you put an entire can of that Carpet Fresh in the room and then vacuum up, that will linger for a while.
It will definitely hold out. Yeah.
To the point where like it smells like too much watermelon in here
Not
or
to
whatever.
mention, it looks like you dropped all your cocaine.
Yeah. Well,
it doesn't all vacuum up. There's definitely remnants.
It was a lot. Well, fortunately, I had a light gray carpet.
Okay.
And so I could vacuum enough to where it blended in well.
Nice.
And so you couldn't tell.
Salt and pepper.
Right. But yeah. But I would get inspections. Was it once a month or once a quarter? I don't remember what it was. But I lucked out on inspections because I worked midnight shift. And they would inspect your dorms during the day.
Right. But that's
since I work midnight shift, I'm usually asleep or in a position of being at my leisure. And so, is our guest here?
I think no.
Nope. Hey there.
I keep hearing voices and they're not the right voices.
Not the guest.
I thought it was Jocelyn talking to somebody, but
but anyway, so like when they come to inspect, they wouldn't really inspect. Like usually I'd be asleep, and if I knew they were coming, I would make sure I was at least in bed.
Right.
And they open the door, and they usually catch me, and they're like, "Oh, sorry." I was like, "Mids, sorry." He goes, "Oh," and sometimes they'd walk in and go, "Yeah, it looks good. See you later." Sometimes they just close the door and said, "Looks good," and so 9 times out of 10,
right,
I didn't get really inspected because I was there, and I work mids.
It's fine. I have a nausea. I can't smell anything. It looks fine in here.
Which means I didn't have to scrub my microwave or do some of the things that.
But that also comes back to bite you in the butt because you have to go overboard the next time you know you're going to have an inspection.
Yeah.
And you're
well, and that's the beauty of the wall locker. Because in my room I had 2 giant wall lockers, and you lock them, they don't go in them. So, oh man, it was the kids under the bed. Lock, and then when they leave, you unlock it.
Right.
I should do something with this. And then it's on the floor, and then you push it back in until the next inspection. So, yeah.
Nobody's gonna see in here.
The only place I kept like it was the bathroom because that was not just me.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have a trash dorm for the most part. It was times where it got a little funky, but and the other thing too was, and this is probably why I freeze. I was in a moment of liking meat lockers. That I had air very similar to this in this room. That little switch, high, low, thermostat does not do a dang thing.
Right.
And their building was like this one, where it except they actually had refrigerated air and heat. It wasn't swamp cooler or heater, boiler or whatever. It was whatever. And but they would switch it like in the fall, and so in the dorms in like October, there's no air conditioning, and so it was 800. So I'd slide the window, the box fan. But in the summer, it was air conditioned. But there was no real on-off because when it was on, it's cold. When it was off, it was hot. So I just left it on low all the time.
Right.
So my room, it was a constantly 66 degrees or something during the summer. And I was like, I ain't turning it off. So I dealt with it.
Yep. I'll put on extra layers. It's fine.
I think my 4 years of living in that barrack kind of hardened me on some of my later in life, how I live and how I.
Yeah, that makes sense. It molded you.
Yeah,
it molded the man.
Yeah. I also learned a lot of different ways to cook things in the microwave.
You can cook a steak on an iron if you wait long enough.
Well, and I really had to learn my 3rd year in because the chow hall was up by the barracks where I could walk to them. There was a second chow hall on the flight line, but you had to drive out there and it was long, and the hours were a little different than the other one because it was more for work hours. But anyway, so our chow hall by the dorms got shut down to remodel. And so it was closed for like a year. And so they paid us extra money during that time. We get when you're in the military, you get BAS, BAH, basic allowance for housing, basic allowance for substance, things like that. You get uniform allowances. You get, and based on rank and those things, and where you live. If you live in military housing, then you don't get so much for housing and substance. You get, if you're married, you get a little more. Single, don't get any.
Right.
However, I think like as a single airman living in the dorms, I got like $7 a month for BAS and all that kind of thing.
Baller.
But they upped it to where I got like $100 more a month or something during that time. Problem is, I live in the barracks. I live in the dorms. There's no cooking. When I move into this dorm barrack, I had a college dorm fridge, a bed, and a desk, and some light, and a bathroom. You know, that's it. Like I had my own sink. The sink, like the toilet and the shower, we shared, but you had your own little sink in your barracks. So that area was private. But that's really all I had. So great, you can pay me $100 a month. I'm either eating McDonald's all, you know what I mean, or I got to cook stuff.
Right.
And there was a McDonald's by the barracks you could walk to. There was of course the commissary and all that. But I don't want to eat McDonald's every day. I get kind of tired of all that
I
stuff. So,
totally understand.
So I purchased a microwave, and I spent time at the commissary. This is why I know so much about the frozen burritos at the commissary. I know about the chili dog burrito that I've only seen at the commissary.
Right.
And so because I learned how to make tuna helper in a microwave. And I couldn't do hamburger because I had no way to brown the meat.
Sure, you need canned meat.
Yeah, but
so you could do like a chicken helper.
But even still, I had to. Nuking chicken is not good.
Yeah, it ain't the best. You're right.
So I went with tuna helper. That was how I lured the ladies. That's how I lured the wife.
It's like
tuna helper macaroni.
Got you where you are today.
Tuna helper microwave skills. But
turned you into the man you are.
Yeah. But I ate so many, like, and this is where I also found my love for Red Baron round pizzas, because those were like by far the best pizza in a microwave at the time. I don't know what technology, but at that time, I lived off Red Baron pizzas, chili dog, little Juans. I think they call them Little Juans. That the burrito company, the brand that the commissary sold. And they had a good beef and potato one too. And that was kind of weird because I'm like, at this time, and granted, this is the 90s. This isn't where you had, flaming hot flavor this and this flavor and all that.
Y'all's snack options were limited.
Yeah,
for
the burritos were generally beef and bean. Fancy was green beef and bean, red beef and bean, bean.
Yeah, just
cheese and bean.
Which was actually my go-to.
Yeah, that was like your fare. And I'm walking like, this dude got and it was literally a hot dog with chili and a tortilla. I was like, all right, now we're partying. And then the other one was kind of like a potatoes and this steak-like thing with like some kind of refried bean thing in it. It was good. And it was different because it wasn't beef and cheese, beef and bean, red beef and bean, green beef and bean. It was something different.
Shaking it up a little bit.
Oh, this one's an enchilada. The tortilla's slightly different, or not enchilada. The one you fry.
Chalupa.
Chimichanga.
Chimichanga.
Yeah, this one's a chimichanga. Man, same thing.
Yeah.
But,
tortilla with cheese, meat, or bean.
Right. There's more bumps on the tortilla. That's the only difference I saw. But so that's how I lived for a year, just literally eating tuna helper, those burritos, Red Baron pizzas. Occasionally you'd find a Hunger Man you could microwave, because there wasn't a lot of microwavable ones back then.
That's true.
That there wasn't 60 banquet dinners, and there wasn't as much. Most of that. If you wanted a pot pie, you kind of still had to have an oven at that point. They hadn't really figured out how to microwave a pot pie yet.
Yeah, no, that wasn't what their that wasn't their demo necessarily.
And I didn't drink coffee, so I didn't have a coffee pot, and so I didn't make soup out of coffee or pots or boil spaghetti or anything in there.
I'll tell you though, coffee pot, that's a rangeful item. You can make a lot of food in.
Well, I've seen those before. People make spaghetti and coffee and coffee pot. The one that still makes me mad is the dude cooking steaks on a toaster.
Yeah.
I'm like, why even bother with this? Like the toaster's completely trashed. Even if you get a good steak out of that, that toaster's, you ain't making nothing with that toaster again, because he's literally putting the steaks on and I'm not talking like a toaster oven.
No.
The old school
push the toaster down. Yeah.
He's literally cooking steak with that. No, he's now putting the steak in it. What he's doing is he's laying the steak on top
Oh.
And then putting a stick of butter right on top of it, and then using the toaster as the heat. And so the butter's going down in this thing. I'm surprised he didn't electrocute himself.
Right.
I was just like, why would you do that? And I'm sure it was for the views. But no one in their right mind is cooking a steak like that.
Right.
No one ever. Mm-hmm. The other one that gets me mad and also makes me really good decision not to get on planes. Have you ever seen the guy that has like a video where he's making like some kind of weird shrimp ramen in the bathroom of a...
Oh, in the bathroom of an airplane?
Yeah.
No.
Like he brought the ingredients in his carrot, like a shrimp, like all this stuff. And then he went in the bathroom and like worked his mojo. I can't remember how he heated it.
Did they knock the door? I mean,
I don't know.
Sir,
it
smells like cooking shrimp in there.
I was like, you're going to be off the plane in a couple hours. You don't have to turn to prison life just to eat some soap.
Right. The ones that get me, and it's a guy who used to be in jail, so he shows you how to make jail-style food.
Right.
But they always start with like, yo, Bunky, I'm going to make whatever when I get back inside. You want one? The guy's like, yeah, make me one. And it's always like, it's really ghetto, too, because like the guy uses his commissary card to like cut it up into pieces.
Nice.
Yeah. You can make anything with coffee creamer, apparently, that powdered coffee creamer.
Yeah.
That stuff, that'll turn into like Laffy Taffy.
I've never spent time in prison, but I've watched enough of these 60 Days In shows and all these National Geographic shows that, there's a whole culinary cuisine in prison, and not just toilet wine. They will, from drugs to anything.
I'll tell you, if you're looking for a very entertaining watch and a rabbit hole that you will have a hard time digging your way out of, look up Larry Lawton on YouTube.
Okay.
Lawton. He's a dude who I guess was a jewel thief or like a bank robber or something. He's spent plenty of time in plenty of different places. And his whole thing is like breaking down like how to make like they make like this, essentially it's a ghetto hot plate.
Okay.
So they can cook, boil water or whatever. And he shows how to make one of those. He shows all kinds of different prison like foods that you can make from commissary. But he gets into the stories of like his time in, and it's fascinating. I've spent hours watching this guy just explain how prison life
And I watched one of those like National Geographic documentaries, one of the ones there, and I don't remember which one it was, but it was a group of girls, and I guess one of them was having a birthday.
Yeah, I gotta go.
And they literally made a birthday cake for her out of commissary stuff. Like you can't get Duncan Hines cake mix in there.
No.
Or anything like, so literally, I think, and I don't remember the ingredients, but I feel like they were taking like ramen noodles and powdering it, and then they get like the syrup from this thing and make like they made a cake. It's science. Just there's the sugar, but it was just different. Like because they don't have eggs and flour and all the things you need to, and they would figure out how to, and no oven.
Right.
And so
but you know what they have? Time.
Right.
They have a lot of time to figure it out.
But these ladies made a cake out of just commissary stuff.
That's pretty impressive for sure.
And now I ain't gonna lie, it looked disgusting, but it was a cake. You know what I mean? It was like I'm like, there is no way I'm putting that in my mouth. But
it looked not bad.
But for what they had, I'm like, that's pretty impressive. I guess our guest isn't here. So let's do this. Let's get the hour going. I might dig up a replay here. So let's, I don't know how much time we got. It's 9:30. I don't know how we'll get. So let's do this. Let's pause for weather and a quick commercial break, and we'll come back on the other side. I might dig up a short interview here to play. It looks like our guest isn't going to make it. So here's your weather. Quick break. We'll be back.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll be in the upper 40s for the afternoon high today. Some clouds moving in ahead of a low pressure system headed our way. We'll get a few showers overnight and some fog. We'll be in the mid 30s and then a few showers possible on Wednesday. We're expecting low 50s and we will have a little bit of sunshine. Clear for Wednesday night, and then we're back to sunny skies on Thursday and Friday, 50s and 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Time
time to drive into 2025 with Roswell Hyundai. The lot is loaded with an amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with special financing that means you can lock in low and save. Like 3.99% for up to 60 months on all new Hyundai Sonata, Palisade, or Elantra. 2.99% for up to 60 months on all new Hyundai Santa Cruz. Or lock in low with 2.49% for up to 60 months on all new Hyundai Tucson and Santa Fe. Drive in, trade up, and lock in low. Drive into 2025 with Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
You there! What are these?
My glasses, Your Highness.
They're incredible. Who made these?
The eyesight in Roswell. Or was it Hobbs? Or maybe Carlsbad.
So well crafted and stylish. So the eyesight thinks they can challenge my throne with their quality eyewear.
Actually, Your Majesty, I got 2 pair and an eye exam. It was so easy. I did it during my lunch break, and they even took my insurance.
Lunch break? Who gave you a lunch break?
Human resources, Your Majesty.
Silence! I'll get you eyesight!
The Eyesight, now accepting new patients 5 and up in Roswell, Hobbs, and Carlsbad.
3 locations?
Clearly the best in sight.
So you've got questions about the birds and the bees? What would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben Manette with Roswell Seed Company. If Jim was here, he'd tell you that it's time to order your bees. You'll get a 3-pound box of live bees and a queen, and that's enough to start a hive. As for the birds, we're talking about baby chicks. Not only are they cute as can be, they'll soon be supplying your family with fresh eggs. So come see us at Roswell Seed and find out all about the birds and the bees.
Some wounds need expert care to heal properly. At Artesia General Hospital's Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center, we use advanced treatments like hyperbaric oxygen therapy to help chronic wounds heal faster. If you or a loved one has a wound that won't heal, call 575-736-8235 today and take the first step toward recovery.
The new year, new ride sales event is on now at Roswell Nissan with 0 down, 0% APR available, and up to $4,000 more for your trade. Hundreds of vehicles in stock, and I-10s are welcome. Is your current payment too high? Roswell Nissan can help. Payoff too high? Roswell Nissan can help. Interest rate too high? Roswell Nissan has got you covered. Trade in your keys and trade up to a fresh ride in 2025 during the new year, new ride sales event on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
When you stick with Block, everyone's a winner. Weekly prizes and giveaways like a Samsung 65-inch 4K Smart TV to be giving away on February 21st. Your Roswell, New Mexico H&R Block wants to help those affected by the recent flooding that affected our beautiful city. We are offering a discount to any tax filers claiming a casualty loss deduction this season. Please give us a call at 575-622-5455 or stop by our new location at 701 South Main. H&R Block has got you covered.
Whether you're a homeowner, a landscaper, or a contractor, we all have reasons to dig. If you're planning to dig, this is just a friendly reminder that locating underground utilities is important. It's actually the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig. New Mexico Gas Company is one of the utilities that will come out free of charge to mark our underground lines up to the meter, so you'll know what's below. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
Stock up your freezer with premium New Mexico grown beef cuts delivered straight to your door from Runyon Cattle Meats. Runyon Cattle Meats offers premium grass-fed, grain-finished beef in whole, halves, and quarters, along with special seasonings that perfectly complement the meat. Find mouth-watering recipes, cut lists, gift baskets, and more at RunyonCattleMeats.com. Order today by calling Runyon Cattle Meats at 575-760-5655 or online, RunyonCattleMeats.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:37, so guest didn't make it in. So we're going to play. I have a short interview. It was a 20-minute interview that I had last week with the Chaves County Extension Office. Katie Wright and Tamara Schubert talking about some of the upcoming events. I will put a caveat in this one because I got yelled at. I mentioned there they talk about the master gardening classes and talking a little bit about how, and I say in there it's not for beginners, and I kind of got yelled at for that. So I kind of want to clarify that it is because basically when Drew and I have talked about it, the class is welcome to everyone. And everyone, they love they want to have everybody there. But my point is, it's a serious class about gardening. It gets, pardon the pun, into the weeds about gardening. And so if you're not prepared to really get serious about the gardening, this class might be a little above your pay grade. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, just want to put that caveat because it is for beginners. It's for anyone that wants it. But I'm just saying it's hardcore into gardening. It's not just it gets in the science behind it. So anyway, here is the interview we had with them. Enjoy. Oh, hold on, I gotta hit the wrong button. And good morning. It is 28 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chavez County Extension Office, Tamara Schubert back with us, as well as Katie Garnett. Just kidding. Katie writes back with us. It was a joke, and she says, "I'm going to be Drew today." I was like, "All right."
Strange.
Katie Wright with us as well this morning. Good morning, ladies. How are you today?
Good morning. Good.
Of course, that's what we were joking, or not joking, but just talking, and this, I know it's like a kind of everyone dips a toe into the year and kind of slow start, but for the extension office, this is always like hit the ground running. This is when things, you sign up for things, programs and things start kicking off for the new year. It's a very busy time at the extension office.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is so. If you're looking to get involved in things in your community, whether it's for health reasons or for work reasons or for social reasons, now's a good time to you might want to listen to the next 20 minutes or so. but this might be a good time to. Yeah. But definitely want to come check out the extension office. There's a lot going on here from the young ones to I don't know, 100 years old, whatever, whoever wants to do it. So I don't know where we want to start. You want to start with the Drew stuff, or you want to start with the home ec stuff, or you want to start with 4-H stuff?
I'll let Katie start with 4-H stuff, and then we'll see what we need to go from there.
All right. So we are still in open enrollment. That means that your friends can be my friends, and we can all be friends and do super cool things together.
Nice.
So we should.
I feel like it's a theme song.
Right?
My friends are your friends.
You let me know how that writing process goes. We'll get it playing in the office over the speaker.
Very good.
So we have over 200 projects for youth to sign up in, anything from animals to home and interior design, which we will be doing at the library this next Wednesday.
Yes.
The second and third Wednesdays of each month.
It's a little off kilter this month. So you have to
Yeah. I was like next month.
Next month.
The third Tuesdays next to the fourth Wednesdays and all that. And you're like, well, which one is it?
January's just a giant Monday.
Right.
I don't know. It's all a mess. But we'll be doing housing and interior design at the library. That is free and open to the public.
Yeah.
So if you want to come sample 4-H, that's a great place.
And that's a monthly visit. It's
Yes.
different topic each month, but the 4-H come to the library every month. That second Wednesday of the month. I get confused too. And they do it, and so you can come and bring. And it's a kind of a peek into 4-H, but it's just a great activity to do with your kids and family together. So if you're just looking for some fun family stuff, come on out to the 4-H days at the library. So.
For sure. So housing interior design, and then we'll go into beekeeping. So 2 very exciting things coming up.
Nice.
As far as our actual leadership goes, we will be taking our council officer team up to Santa Fe for 4-H Day at the Roundhouse.
Okay. So they get to see kind of how the process happens in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and because that's another side of 4-H. You learn about the
leadership, citizenship, all the goodies.
The whole thing, procedures, and the whole Murphy's Law, or not Murphy's Law.
Who's Murphy?
Not Robertson's Law. Thank you.
Robert's Rule of
Robert's Rule. Sorry, Murphy's Law is the one where, like, if you leave your cell phone on during the interview, the ringer will
ring. It will go off.
That's a Murphy's Law. Robert's Rule. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I meant. But that's all encompassed in that, and so you get to see it in action. These youth get to see it in action in Santa Fe. So do they get to sit on some of the House sessions and stuff too?
Yes. So it will be declared 4-H Day in the New Mexico Legislature in both the House and the Senate. So we'll get to watch that proceeding
see both
go
sides
on.
in sessions
Absolutely.
at various points. And
toward the land grant office, all kinds of good stuff. Just look at all of the different aspects of how they're working for us in Santa Fe.
Some of those youth might be sitting in some of those seats someday here. So
it would be a great path for them to go for sure.
I hope some of them do. But that's cool. So I'm sorry. What else we got for 4-H also too? To just come sign up.
Goodness, come sign up. We've got projects starting like crazy. Miss Tamara's got quilting and sewing going on. I've got some rocketry, some STEM, all kinds of fun things are happening.
Nice.
But for those workshops, you do need to be an enrolled member.
Which is easy to do.
It is so easy to do. Just stop by and visit me. It's not that hard.
Absolutely. And what's the youngest a child can begin the 4-H program?
So our Clover Buds start at 5 years old, and we do have some special programming just for those Clover Buds. These little books, little cooks. So we get together, read a picture book of sorts, talk about certain types of food, do some crafts, bake some goodies, and everything that we've made so far has been really tasty. So
kid approved.
Right.
So
anytime there's a thing about eating at the end of the day, that's the thing you want to be a part of. You know what I mean? It's just you can't go wrong.
Motivated by snacks.
Yes. And of course they can go right up till 18 and they go on to be adults and go on to their next phase in life and things like that.
Well, and some colleges even have collegiate 4-H, so you can keep going if you want
goes
to.
On is there like college fraternities and things that are or sororities or whatever that are 4-H, or is it more just I don't know how that works.
They have a collegiate 4-H club at several universities, and so it's an opportunity for those youth to continue their 4-H experience. Give back at the college level. Get involved and really launch their volunteer career within 4-H.
Nice. So there is kind of, I mean, it's not like a fraternity or sorority per se, but it is, you can still kind of
stay plugged in.
Yeah, you don't live in a house and I guess argue over who's the last to get toilet paper and things
but
like that.
They do get monthly free food. So, hey,
and in college life, that's important stuff.
Absolutely.
I have a sister going through that now. I know it's a weird situation. Like, aren't you 50? Yes, I have a sister. It's another story that I have two sisters. One's in high school and one's is a freshman year in college. So that's for an episode of Jerry Springer, but that's another day. I got a fun life, but anyway, but I know that thing, and so that's great, and that's another, because obviously, especially if the student is going like farther from home for college, and sometimes you look for things that are familiar, and so that would be a place of familiarity for some of those folks that I think
absolutely
could be a definite advantage in their college careers there. So that's good stuff. So, but either way, it all starts here, coming on down to the extension office and seeing all the different clubs that are available, and don't think that because you don't raise animals or live on a farm that you can't be a part of 4-H. There's so many clubs and parts of 4-H that have nothing to do with farming or ranching or animals or any of that stuff. Don't get me wrong, if that's what you're into, there's plenty of that as well. But if you're into computers or into hunting or into whatever sports, beekeeping, whatever, that's this is for you, 4-H and all that stuff. But or if you're wanting to, maybe you're wanting a career in government and serving and learning that side of things is very much part of 4-H as well too, and a good way to kind of get yourself familiar with that kind of stuff too.
Absolutely.
So, good deal. Again, come on, just go down to the extension office, storm in like the Kool-Aid man, say, "Where's Katie?"
I'll be there.
And she'll set you up here. So. Do you want to move on to some home ec stuff or some?
Sure. So extension clubs are going. So again, if they're looking for a way to get involved on the adult side, that's a great opportunity. They are hosting their first training on Thursday, February the 6th at 5:30. They're going to be exploring the crickets and the cutting and all the fun craft stuff that you can do with those machines.
Okay. Crickets, the machine, not exploring the deliciousness of crickets.
Right.
Or the phone company.
There's all kinds of things, right? They can explore. But crafting
Jiminy
is what we are going to explore.
Very
so if they
good.
got new machines for Christmas or anything like that, come check it out.
Excellent.
We're going to have a couple of projects to do and just learn about the machines in general.
Nice.
So that's a great opportunity to get involved after the new year. We'll have 6 trainings on different topics throughout the year, but that is our first one.
Good deal. It comes to the inaugural of 2025.
Oh, yeah. So Prevent T2 started last week, so it's still not too late to get involved.
So you can get in here last minute, but this is your 2-minute warning if you want to get in.
Absolutely.
This is be now or forever hold your peace for this year.
So. Yeah, so it's a year-long program for those that are at risk for type 2 diabetes. It is mostly Tuesdays at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it runs 4 to 5. About mid-year, we start twice a month, but it is somewhat of a time commitment, but it's an opportunity to really learn how to control that aspect of our lives.
Yeah, and this is, like you said, this class is for people that you went to the doctor and they said, on the path you're on, you're going to be diabetic here. You're pre-diabetic. If you've been diagnosed with diabetes, there's other things for you. This class is not it. This is for people that are right there being told you need to do something here or you will be diagnosed with diabetes.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle change program to get you on the right track.
And it kind of makes sense that, you like you said, these first part of the thing, you do it once a week, and then as this progresses, you start going twice a week. It makes sense, too, because really, like you said, it's a lifestyle change. And you're going to stumble. And that's why this is a program, because when those moments happen, they say, all right, let's dust you off and we'll get back on track here and get going here. And you get a support system because the other members of the class are all working together, and you're kind of, so if you love that social element of, especially if your family's like you're the one being diagnosed and the rest of the family's like, nah, I still want to eat the way I eat. You know what I mean? And that makes it that much harder for you to get on that. So this is an opportunity for you to kind of hang out with people in the same boat, so to speak, and help each other get through this and through y'all's, training, expertise, and kind of mentoring through this process. And so hopefully by the end of that year, you've got a great game plan to manage how you're going to do this. Not only from, the easy side where you're saying you got to eat this and this, but navigating life like, well, what happens when the whole family goes out to eat? How do I deal with that? How do I deal with that little pickle? And you'll be well equipped by the end.
So each week we cover a new topic, anything from sleep to stress to eating out when you're at restaurants. How do you make those good choices?
Sure. So that's what this class is all about. So please, like today, the rest of this week, maybe, I don't know what the deadline is, but sooner rather than later, if this sounds like something, space is limited. There's only so many folks you get to be in the class here, but there is a little space here, I guess, left, just a little.
Yeah. So if they have diabetes and they're looking for education, come join us for Kitchen Creations in March.
That is kind of your, when you're told you can't have pizza anymore or anything, and they're like, oh man, and you're this is making the things that you crave and the things that you like, making them in ways that fit your diet to make, so you can have the satisfying cravings and meet those needs and enjoy eating, while at the same time not,
just doing it a little differently.
Not doing the damage to your body that you were doing before.
Yeah. So Kitchen Creations will take place Mondays in March, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. It's a 4-week class. Half of it is education and half of it is in the kitchen cooking. Trying out some new recipes. Yeah.
Again,
sampling.
Classes that end with eating are always good classes.
Always good.
And you're in this class because you want to learn to eat better. And so you gotta start life somewhere. We'll start at the end of the class. You're eating some of this stuff. So, and dare I say, especially if you're like the mom or the dad that's kind of the chef and the one that kind of provides the meals and does a lot of that stuff, maybe you can slip some of this into your own family. They won't even know it. And you know what I mean? There's some.
So that's a great point. So if we've got parents out there that may not be diabetic, but their kids are, and they need to learn a little bit more, come join us.
Yeah, absolutely. There's ways to create this stuff. You can make, I know, kids eat 3 things: macaroni and cheese, chicken nuggets, and pizza. I get it.
But we can make cauliflower pizza.
Exactly. So we can find ways to
and
make...
whole grain mac and cheese. We got this.
We'll figure it out.
We can climb this mountain. We put a man on the moon. We can do this. But yeah, absolutely. This is the class is really about just kind of, melding the lifestyles together. The changes you have to make, but keeping the spirit and the enjoyment of the life. Changing your life without feeling like it's a life sentence. That's what this class is all about. So please sign up for. Again, it's another popular class.
It is.
Don't dilly-dally on signing up for this.
Yeah, space really is limited on that one to about 25 just because of our kitchen facilities.
Yeah.
And so now is the time. You may be like, I have another month. I can get on the list.
Yeah.
Get on the list now.
Yeah, lock it down now. And that way, because you don't want to shortchange on the food at the end of the classes. More people means less food for you. So, just saying.
That's how the math maps.
I break things down to the lowest common denominator sometimes. That's how my brain thinks. But these are great opportunities. These are really, and the best part is it's free. You can really, people pay a lot of money for these kinds of classes and this kind of education. You can get it for free right here at the extension office in your own backyard. But the hook is you got to sign up now. Don't wait. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait another year to do this all over again.
Right.
So, what else we got on that side of things?
I think that's all that we've got going on that side.
Okay. Anything in the agricultural world? I know this is the master gardening classes and all that is probably still the sign-up window for some of these, or
so they missed the sign-up window for this year. Classes started this last weekend, and so if they're interested in master gardeners, for sure talk to a master gardener that's going through. They just graduated last year's class and started this year's class, and so next year's a new opportunity.
And speaking about the library, they too do a monthly visit to the library, the master gardeners, and so if you're wanting to green up your thumb. Come out. I don't remember do you know off the top of your head?
So I think the next one's actually in February.
Okay.
And I believe it's the third Saturday. So if that's correct, it would be the 15th.
Okay, very good. And so, I knew it was a Saturday. I just couldn't remember which one. And so if you want to learn from probably the most knowledgeable people about the soil and plants and what works and don't work here in southeast New Mexico, you've got a little piece of the collective right there in the library there. And so you get it's really... And if you're interested in taking that class for next year, please note that this is like if you're just getting into gardening, the master gardening class is not where you want to start. That's like saying I want to play football and start trying out for the Cowboys. That's not where you start. Yeah, well, even this Cowboys. But anyway,
but they can call the office and get all the information.
Yeah.
Come visit us at gardening at the library on those Saturdays. I think the other thing is all of us are probably thinking frigid temperatures outside, but now is the time to start thinking about gardening this spring and things like that as we'll start taking soil temperatures here in the next couple of months and
we'll be
getting
getting
that
those
ground
emails
ready.
from Drew here very shortly about the soil temps and things like that. And but if you're asking for tips and all that, don't hesitate to call the office. They've got lots of. I know Drew's kind of going from conference to conference right now, but they can get you information and things like that. And there's a lot of resources to the Extension office for folks that I think most people know, but if you don't know, Extension offices run through New Mexico State University, so you kind of have the whole college at their disposal behind it. It's all part of that. So
we've got some great specialists that love to share some information. So if they've got questions, be sure to give us a call.
Absolutely, yeah, and. Maybe not so much with football because they had the 1 year.
I can't help them though.
Yeah, but
if they're looking for nutrition on what they should be eating while they're playing football,
that's right.
We got you.
Mm-hmm.
And agriculture, they're very good at that. Very cool. So, any questions? Anything about 4-H? Anything about some of these upcoming cooking sensations in the T2 diabetes class, pre-diabetes classes? Wanting more about some of the stuff going on at the library or anything with agriculture. I know you got questions about pesticide licensing and all that stuff. That's all stuff Drew and his side of things handle, and we can get that information to you as well. Don't hesitate to call or come by the Extension office. What's the best number for them to call at the Extension office?
Gotcha. So we are at 575-622-3210.
Very good. You can come by. Is it 200 East Chisholm?
It is. Suite number 4.
Suite number 4, at least for the time being.
Yes.
Is there any timetable on?
Hopefully next year. Hopefully towards the end of the year, they're supposed to start remodel this next month. So we are crossing our fingers.
Okay. I was wondering. I was like, is it 2025 you get in here, or maybe?
We'll see how long it takes, but we're just thankful for the opportunity for an updated facility for them.
She was curious, is this going to alter like what you guys can do? Like we'll be like at the end of the day, I mean, staffing, but because of the facilities, will that edit what some of the programs or add to?
Hopefully it'll add to. The space will be a little bit bigger and a little bit more functional.
A little more people, or offer a little bit variety or different variety of some things, just because we have a facility that can accommodate that now. So.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, we look forward to that here. But in the meantime, we're still at 200 East Chisholm. And, of course, you can always go online. Like I said, a lot of it's through New Mexico State University, but if you type in Chavez County Extension, usually you can find everything you need, because there's a lot of
Just ask Siri. Yeah, she's got it.
Yeah. and website. There is a website that people
There
go
is,
to.
and it's always being updated, so be sure to check by. It's just chavezextension.nmsu.edu, and I'll take you right there and give you all the goodies.
Yeah, that way you can keep up to date on calendar events for 4-H or anything with some of these classes, or if you're looking for extension clubs, which we didn't say, but we should say is that's adult 4-H. That's the inside is not, but it is. It's and so if you are and if you don't see one of the extension clubs that kind of strike your interest, but maybe you can offer something. Well, let's add to the party. Well,
absolutely.
Add another extension.
We love
club.
friends.
Yeah,
all the friends.
Maybe cricket's not the cricket. Maybe like cricket and so on. No, but if you want to play the game of cricket, I've got some people.
Hey, so one of the trainings they want to do this year is pickleball.
There you go. Maybe
a
pickleball club. I'm thinking that's kind of getting very trendy and popular right now. And so, when the young people are playing it now, it's getting, then it's.
I love to do things young people do.
I'm going to go the other way with this, because you know how when they say old people, if we start saying it, it's that saying's kind of jump the shark kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pickleball, these young people are into it now. It's starting to jump the shark on. Very good. Is there anything we missed?
I don't think so.
I think we're good.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. And stay warm.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done this week, but we'll see you next time. And if there's anything else or anything that pops up that doesn't kind of jive in our schedule, let me know. We'll make that happen.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
All right, it is 8:50. Let us pause for news of the local variety, Chavez County
On
Sports
the military.
Update.
One of the orders
Weather
directs the Defense Secretary to revise the Pentagon's policy on transgender troops, likely setting in motion a future ban on their military service. Other orders would roll back diversity programs, create a space-based missile defense system, and reinstate troops who were forced out for refusing COVID-19 vaccines.
White House correspondent Greg Cluxton. Also at townhall.com, Florida will hold 2 special election primaries today to replace President Trump's national security advisor Mike Waltz in the 6th congressional district and former Representative Matt Gaetz in the 1st congressional district. The winners of each primary will likely go on to win in the